What's up, everybody? You are about to watch a very, very deep dive, beefy, fix the sales marketing masterclass for your gym. So super excited for you to watch this. It's a big boy. But we talk about the mindset, how to think about sales. We talk about how to get your leads to show up to the gym for the first time. We're talking about how to get people to buy, right, from your consultations or trials, how to charge the right prices, and if you need to raise your prices, how to do that, and finally, how to get more referrals at your gym. So all of it designed to help you get more clients and make more money because you can't cash leads. You can only cash new customers that sign a membership at your gym. So super excited for you to watch this. Thanks so much for coming by. There is a thing at the end where you have an opportunity to get my price raise guide, meaning a guide on how to raise your prices. The only thing you need to do is book a call to be able to get access to the price raise guide. I'll still open that and honor that for you. If you decide to book a call, you can do it at the button right below this video. So hope you enjoy watching the Fix the Sales Masterclass. Enjoy. Thanks. What's up, everybody? You are about to listen to a beefy 2+ hour training that I did for 100+ gym owners all over the world. It was titled Fix the Sales at Your Gym. And we covered a lot. We covered how to think about sales, how to have a better mindset around selling. We talked about how to get your leads to show up because that's a big pain point. We talk about how to get more of them to buy, right? Because when they show up, we got to get them to buy. And we talked about charging the right price. And if you're not charging the right price, what do you do? And then finally, we talked about how to get more referrals because there's no better way to make your customers more valuable than to get them to give you a referral. We went deep dive, guys. At the very end, right before we get to Q&A, there's an opportunity to get access to my Raise Your Prices guide. All you need to do is book a call at the link in the show notes to get access to that guide. I'll honor that for you guys after the fact. No worries. Hope you enjoy this. This might be one that you need to watch or listen to a couple times. And I will say this, this was a video training that I did on Zoom. So we also put a link to the YouTube in the show notes as well. So if you want to watch this on YouTube, it's probably a better opportunity to kind of see and follow along with the notes that I was providing. So hope you enjoy the Fix the Sales Masterclass. Peace. What's up, everybody? Leo, thank you for jumping in. We're going to get rolling. I'd like to start on time. It's 12:01. Before I actually share my training that I have for you guys, I'm really excited about this one. And I'm actually shocked. I'm guessing sales is an issue because a month ago I taught Fix the Marketing Masterclass. And I always think like marketing is going to be the thing that gets people, in the door, right? For you guys to show up to this. But we have almost double the amount of registrations for the Fix the Sales Masterclass as we did for Fix the Marketing, which is like shocking to me, but not so shocking because honestly, like I just got done with a run of two CEO mastermind meetings, and these are guys that are, they fly in to New Jersey 4 times a year. There's like 12 people in the group. There's two groups. One group is like, a group that's doing around, 50 to 100K a month. The other group is, they're all over 7 figures, scaling, open up multiple gyms, right? But honestly, like show rate is an issue, right? Not for everybody, for a lot of people. Show rate's an issue. Buy rate's an issue. You got more people with price objections and things like that. Some of this is what's going on in the world, right? There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. But some of it can be changed. Some of it can be helped and fixed. And it's funny. I see a lot of my guys, on this call that they're getting enough. I see Oliver. I see Johnny. And Johnny, guess what? I'm going to be talking about price today. Yeah, believe it or not. I see Steven. Joe, I just spent 4 hours with you yesterday. You didn't get enough? We do a monthly what's called an SPF meetup where people come to my gym and we have a room in the back of the gym and we just talked shop for a couple hours, and Joe was there and did a great job. So guess he didn't get enough, Joe. Didn't get enough. So good to have you.
Back for more
Um,
punishment.
yeah, there you go. So if you could, guys, thanks so much for coming. Again, this is a training, not a webinar, so I don't have PowerPoint slides. I have a big running Word document. It'll be somewhat clunky, and I'm going to be, scrolling through and highlighting things and everything like that. But I'm a coach, I'm a teacher, right? I started just like you guys as a trainer. That's kind of the way I roll. So forgive the unpolished New Jersey delivery of this thing, but I love doing this stuff. I really enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing the changes that you guys make to your business. So thanks for coming. If you could, just to get warmed up, just type into the chat. I want to get used to the chat for today. Just type the name of your gym and the city and state. City and state. So name of your gym, city and state. This is to ensure that everyone here is an English-speaking person, so we are able to communicate with each other back and forth. That's a joke. You can laugh and smile at my jokes. Okay. Yeah. So just type that in to the chat. Thank you very much. See some good familiar faces. My man Summit from Nomley, which tends to help with some of this follow-up stuff, believe it or not. So software is important. I will not be talking about software today. I'm not even honestly. I don't. I have it nowhere in my talk. So if you want to talk software, talk to Summit. He can certainly help you with that. But it is important. It is. It's funny how I'm like now thinking to myself, why the hell didn't I talk about that a little bit more? But it is actually a big piece of your follow-up system to make sure it's organized enough. Like the days of writing down your leads on a post-it note are need to go bye-bye, as I did many times. Okay, one more question, just to make sure you guys are still with me. Go ahead and write down or type into the chat your biggest challenge with sales. What is your biggest challenge with sales? Is it you're not charging enough money? Is it you can't get the leads to show up? Is it Leo? You may need to look at this meeting capacity issue. Do we looks like we have a meeting capacity issue, Leo. So you better fix that quick. Um, we haven't had that before, so I guess that's a good problem, right?
Where are you seeing that? Just so I know.
A message just came up. It says meeting capacity is almost full. I guess Zoom wants more money out of me.
Probably, yes. Let me go into your account.
So yeah, figured it out. Thank you, Leo. Good to have minions here to do your work for you, right? And Leo the minion, thank you. He's actually not a minion. He's actually a pretty good salesperson himself. I've learned a lot about sales from Leo, and good that he's on our squad. All right, so quality leads. We'll talk about that as well. Quality leads, yeah. We price objections. Okay, consistent lead flow. Well, if you want consistent lead flow, the big one is to go watch the Fix the Marketing Masterclass as well. Okay, cool. Before we start, a lot of I just want a disclaimer of like where I teach from. There's a lot of consultants out there that teach this type of stuff, and I basically get my information from two places. The first place is I have run my own gym since 2008. Okay. So a lot of what I have seen and teach and have learned comes from on the other side of that wall is a gym that trains real people, that employs real trainers, that is a real business and a real community. Okay, and I think there's a lot of, kids out there that are hiding behind, keyboards and hanging out in their mama's basement that never actually owned a gym that are teaching a lot of stuff to you guys about how to, win at your gym. Okay, and that's not me, that's not where I come from. A lot of what I teach comes from what's happening in my own business. Literally this morning, I'm on the phone with the guy that runs my gym and we're talking about this stuff. So I'm running a business just as I am teaching this. On the flip side, as I mentioned earlier, I have the privilege of we have 139 members in our mastermind group. Many of you are on this call. Thank you for coming.
a lot of it, a lot of the stuff I learned comes from what those guys are doing, right? You know, some of the people in the group have been in the group. I see Oliver down there in the bottom. Oliver has been in the group since 2018. So I've got to see Oliver grow from a one-man show doing one-on-one trading in home to now he's got this, unbelievable, incredible company that's supporting, his family. So I've been able to see people grow along the way, and that's why if you look at a lot of my testimonials are not I helped him get 344 leads in 3 days. A lot of the testimonials is I took my business from below 10,000 a month to over $60,000 a month, right? So there's many of those cases, and that's where I'm teaching from. And along the way, that stuff that I learned based on my own gym and based on my customers and the clients in the mastermind, I tend to record a lot of that stuff in books. Okay. And so this is my book, The Ultimate Guide to Sales for Your Gym. There's a lot in here that I won't cover on this masterclass just due to time. But there's a lot in here that is really relative and helpful for you guys. For coming today, I'd like to give you a free copy of this book. So Leo, if you could just put the link into the chat, you can get a copy of this book that will reinforce a lot of what I'll be teaching today. Okay, so while that's also a distraction for me to be clunky with my training that I'm about to bring up. So while you're getting the book, I'll get my slides ready, or no slides, just my training. All right, so just give me one sec. Let me share my screen.
Vince, you're good with the max. We're now at 500, so we won't have any issues.
Okay, good. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Actually, one sec. Leah, did we get a picture of the full screen with everybody? I just want to do that real quick. If you guys could do me a huge favor, could everyone put their screen on, even if you don't have your screen off? If you could just put your screen on for a second. We just want to get a good picture with everybody. Everyone wave hi. Everyone wave hi. Good, thank you. Cool. Appreciate you guys. Cool screenshot. Just send out some FOMO. Send out some FOMO for you guys. Actually, if you want a little tip, I've been using one picture in a lot of my emails, and it's been helping a lot. So a lot of my emails have been very copy-based for a long time, but I've started to add a picture in a lot of my emails, which tends to help, and I usually put a caption underneath. So one of the things I'll do is when I, send out, emails about this masterclass, I'll use that picture of you guys as well. All right, so let me reshare my screen. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So last time when I started just real quick, sorry, one more thing. Joe, Kevin, Steve Holland, Leo, can you guys see my screen? Perfect. Thank you. Okay, cool. So I started the training with an apology, right? And the apology from the fix this the marketing masterclass was essentially, I don't have like a quick fix for you, right? There's work that actually needs to be done in order to be successful in marketing, and there's work that needs to be done, in order to be successful in sales. So my second apology is I don't have this magic bullet or this magic thing that to promise you the world. I'm going to essentially tell you that getting good at sales is somewhat of a skill set. It's somewhat of a learned skill, just like leadership, just like marketing. And essentially, most business owners, like trainers like you and me, that started this thing, we didn't start as, skilled salespeople. We had to learn how to sell along the way. But it's something that we're going to have to learn because a business is broken down into four categories. I said this last time. There's the marketing category, the sales category, the operations, and finance. Okay. Marketing generates the leads. Sales converts the leads into paying members. Operations hopefully does it deliver a great experience that keeps people for the long haul. And then finance makes sure that we're doing it profitably. Okay. Now with the marketing, there's a lot of times people are getting lots of leads. And when you get lots of leads, what it can feel like is, you get this dopamine release that you're getting lots of leads, but you really can't cash leads. You really need the sales job to be able to collect money. If we don't do this right, we don't make money. So even if you get the marketing right and you're generating lots of leads, that does not mean that you're going to do a good job in terms of growing your company. So this is a really, really important piece of the whole puzzle. Okay. So why is it broken, Rick? Why is sales broken in so many gyms? Why are there so many people that registered for this training and so many people that have actually showed up? It's mind-boggling to me. Okay. And it's kind of what I just said. There's a lot of stuff on lead generation. There's a lot of stuff on guys like me telling you how to market your gym. But as I said, you can't deposit leads into your bank account. We have to learn this and do this better. The second one is this. We're genuinely really nice people and we want to help people. All right. I got into this as, a trainer that fell in love with helping people. I fell in love with changing people's lives. Okay. And a lot of times we're nice. Okay. We're good spirited. We're good hearted. And sometimes we do dumb things like end up not charging enough money or giving people discounts or giving people stuff for free. We're nice hearted people. So we tend to do things that don't bode well in creating a good, profitable company. Okay. Number three, there's a massive amount of winging it going on right now. A massive amount of winging it. There's a lot of people that are showing up. They're showing up to sales calls. They're showing up to consultations, and they are winging it. There's a different question set that they're asking each time. There's no uniformity to what they're doing, and it is the most important job in the business, and you cannot show up unscripted. And the good news today is I'm going to give you some scripts that you can follow to be able to show up and not wing it. I think back to when I was first doing this, like I had no, idea of any type of systems or any type of processes that I was using in a sales perspective. Okay. And I imagine there's a lot of people in here doing that as well. I think too many owners try to delegate sales to their best trainer and they end up taking their best coach off the floor in exchange for a lousy salesperson. Don't do that. That is a bad idea. Some people are meant to be good coaches and good trainers. Okay. One of the most valuable things that your business could have is a really, really good trainer that shows up and grinds 35 hours a week and they don't do anything else. They don't post on social media. They don't, do any sales consultations. They don't do anything else. That's all they do. And I think sometimes we try to force them to, we have a good trainer and we force them into these different positions. And a lot of it is we don't want to do the work or we don't feel confident that we can do the job and we're trying to find someone else to do it. I'm going to tell you right now, you need to learn how to sell and you need to learn how to sell really, really well. Okay. And the last one is nobody's tracking what's actually working. We're doing a very, very poor job of tracking what's actually working. We had someone, I talked about this meetup that I did yesterday. And someone came to me and says, I feel like we have a sales problem. And I just said, all right, well, tell me about your sales problem. And they told me all about how they feel and nothing about reality. There was no numbers and no data that was telling them why they should feel that way. And so you can't feel like you have low sales. You have to know which data points are off track, and we'll talk about some of those today. A few key points to remember. One, the number one job of the owner, okay, of any business owner is to be able to stimulate sales when it's needed. If your sales are down, that is your job. Okay, that's from the book Ready, Fire, Aim. We're front and center, one of the most famous marketing books and sales books ever written. The number one job of the owner is to be able to stimulate sales when it's needed. You need to step in and be able to do this job. Okay? And glad you're learning the skill sets for being here today. Number two is a business owner should spend 2 to 3 hours per day growing their business, doing sales and marketing work. Okay? So that's from the Ultimate Sales Machine. Okay? Can't remember the author of that book. Okay. But hey, if you start spending 2 to 3 hours a day growing your company, sales activities and marketing activities, and you do that every day, you're going to do really, really well. I'll tell you, I always tell the story. Okay. Leo, it's coming up again. You can only host 99 participants. I think it's locking people out. So, um,
I think the only way to do it might be to restart, so we can't do that. So it might be if you were in a webinar, it would have been fine. You're at 500 because it's a regular meeting. It's locking you at 100.
all right. Well, they're screwed then. Sorry, guys.
Really?
You guys are in. They're out. We'll have to send them the replay. Okay, cool. So business ownership, this is like understand that sometimes the solution is this. You ready for this? Sometimes the solution is spend more time on sales and marketing. That is it. There's many, many times where literally there's not anything tactically you're doing wrong. It's just you're not spending enough time on it. And so if you're spending 30 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day, it's likely that it's not enough to do the job that you need to do. So if I were you and you were owning this business and I wanted to grow it, I would make sure on my calendar there's 2 to 3 hours per day of growing your company. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to get into today. Fixing the sales comes down to 5 things. One is understanding the mindset about selling. Two is getting the leads, the dang leads to show up. Three, we're going to sell memberships. Okay. Four, we're going to talk about price. And five, we're going to talk about getting your members to buy and refer more. Those are the 5 pieces that we're going to tackle today to get you some sales. Okay. All right. So do me a favor, just type into the chat how you feeling. You ready to rock and roll? You ready for me to get into this sales mindset work? Type into the chat. Let me know you're out there. Let me see here from you. How we feeling? How are things going? Ready. Okay, cool. Ready to go. Good job. This is your test in the chat. Okay, awesome. Good job. Thank you, guys. And thank you for everyone that typed into the chat. Appreciate you guys. Ready to participate. Got flex right there. Okay. So let's talk about the sales mindset, why you need to get good at sales. The first reason is this. It is guaranteed that you will lose clients. It's a guarantee. You could make your gym free. Okay. You could make your gym free and you would still lose customers. Okay. There is no guarantee that you'll get new customers. So you got to understand we're guaranteed to have a little bit of a leak in our bucket, but it is not a guarantee that we're going to get new ones, and we got to do that work. And that's why we need to do marketing and do sales on a very, very regular basis, because it's guaranteed that we are going to lose people. Okay. Number 2 is people like legit need your help. Like I think about what we do and I think about this job and owning a gym for a living. And I have a lot of gratitude for what we do. We there are people whose lives are 10 times better than they would be without us. 10 times. There are people who are alive today because of you. And they probably maybe wouldn't be alive because of it. And so I think that you got to understand is that you guys do really important work. It's really, really important work that you're actually doing. And sometimes we allow our own limitations to get in the way of this. But understand this, people need your help. And it is your duty to get better at selling them a gym membership. It is your duty to do that. Okay. And the last one is this, is if we don't get good at sales, we're not going to make money. Okay. And at the end of the day, like, I don't know if like you started your business as a nonprofit. I didn't. I started my gym to feed my family. Like I think many of you are doing as well. And here's the reality. If you're not secure financially, your staff is not going to be secure financially either. And so we kind of owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our staffs. We owe it to our families to maybe get around some of the uncomfortable issues that people have with selling. Okay, so that's the first thing is like, this is why you really need to get good at this stuff. Okay, so let's talk about then what stands in the way. Okay, what stands in the way of a sale. So in December of 2020, I moved into my new house, and my new house is kind of up on a hill and the driveway is pretty steep. And there was it was a winter day and it was pretty icy. And I was walking down to take the garbage out. And legit, I walked down the driveway and I slipped on the driveway. And I'm telling you, my feet like went up in the air and I fell on my back. And now I played Division I football, right? I played for Temple University. I've been hit in the head many times. I never felt anything like this before. Like I was concussed beyond concussed. And I will tell you this. Every time I walk down my driveway, even if it's bone dry, I remember that moment. I remember that time that I slipped. And I walk down my driveway a little bit gingerly. And so that's one of the most important things about sales that you need to understand is that people are coming to your gym, whether it's a call, whether it's a consultation, they are coming to your gym with all of their past failures, all of their mistakes that they've made, all of the times that they tried and failed. They're bringing that with them. They're bringing that to the phone. They're bringing that to the consultation room. They're bringing that to the trial membership. And understand this, if we do not show up in a different way than a lot of those other people that have worked with them in the past, we are going to start looking just like the rest of them. And so this is one of the most important things that you could ever remember is people want to buy, but people are afraid to buy. And they are afraid to buy because of all the mistakes and all the things that they've made in the past. And that comes with resistance. So if you've ever wondered why someone no-shows on a consult, if you ever wondered why someone says, oh, I'm not sure I can do this yet, it is because of all those past mistakes that they're bringing with them to your room. And your job is to show up in a very, very different way. Okay? And we can do that through these three things, the ABCs of selling. It's a great, great book written by Dan Pink. It's called The New ABCs of Selling. It's called Attunement, Buoyancy, and Clarity, right? And so attunement is, do you see things through the eyes of your prospect? Are you trying to force feed them a membership at your gym? Or are you actually seeing a person that needs help? Okay. The B is buoyancy, your ability to stay afloat amongst an ocean of rejection. Well, this is, all right, if someone says no, can I pop back up and ask the next person? And if you're not willing to do that in a sales situation, you're going to have a lot of trouble. Okay. And the last one is clarity, right? The ability to help your prospects see the situation in a new way so they understand their problem better than they did when they walked in. Right? And this is, can you explain what you need to do clearly? Can you explain their problem back to them clearly? And are they actually leaving with a better understanding of their situation and how it can be improved? Or are they leaving more confused than they ever have? Okay? So the way we overcome some of the fear, right? The people that are afraid to buy is to have those three ABCs of selling in mind. And the last part of the sales mindset is this. Okay, the last part is the selling of the sales mindset is to sell with your lifetime value of your customer in mind, not your monthly rate. Okay, because look at the difference. Let's say your monthly rate is $200, $300, whatever it is, right? You are showing up trying to sell a $300 membership. Let me shift that for you. Okay, so I want to show you a formula on how to get your lifetime customer value. Okay, and the formula is you take your average membership, okay? And that's actually what people are paying. So let's say you have 100 customers and you're doing 10 grand a month. Okay, so your average membership is $100 a month. Okay, and let's say you have an average churn rate of 3%. You would take 100 and you would divide that by 3%. And that would be your lifetime customer value. Okay, so in this example, I used mine at Gabriel Fitness, right? So we have a $427 lifetime at monthly average, okay, and we have a 3% churn rate, okay, and so our lifetime customer value is $14,233. So when I sit in a meeting with somebody, I'm not selling a $427 membership. I'm selling a $14,233 membership. We show up differently for that sale. show up differently for that sale. That sale means more. It means more to you. It means more to the business. It means more to the staff. It means more to everybody when we start showing up with lifetime customer value in mind. So I talked about this a lot on the marketing training. All right. But it's also really, really important to learn and understand from the sales perspective as well, is we are selling with lifetime customer value in mind, and we treat each case very, very differently. All right. You're not going to quit as early on a sale when you're trying to chase a $14,000 bill versus a $427 bill. Okay. So all of that is to help kind of get your mind right about sales, right? We're not going to, this is, there's a lot of people out there that kill themselves in the sales process. Okay. And it has to do with their own minds. So hopefully some of these things help. Okay. So that's part number one. Okay. Part number two. How do we get the dang leads to show up? Okay, so let's get into it because I know this is usually a big issue. Understand this, the big thing you're trying to do, okay? And I don't know, and I kind of will use a consultation for my business, right? So we the first step for anyone is, hey, we bring them through a 1 hour consultation. That's kind of what we do. Some of you might do a trial membership. It doesn't necessarily matter. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, what's the next step? They go from lead, and your job is to contact them to get them to move to the next step. Some of you use a free session. Some of you use a free trial. Some of you use a consultation. Whatever you use, just understand that this doesn't change the process, okay? So the big thing you're trying to do is book an appointment for your next step. That's an important shift. It's an important thing to know, right? Because we're not trying to sell a membership on this call. We're not trying to sell a membership on this text. All we're trying to do is get them to move to the next step. And so show up, it's very different. It's very conversational. It's very like, hey, matter of fact, it's very like, hey, we're just trying to get you moving to the next step versus trying to have the pressure of making a sale. You're not trying to make a sale in this part. You're trying to just move them to the next step. Okay, the two problems that kill show rate. One is your leads don't pick up the phone after they opt in. And two, your leads book a consult and ghost you before it even happens, right? Some of you are probably seeing that and having that issue. So let me share something that I think is going to be really helpful for you to know. There was some data pulled from this company called the Data Handling Inquiry Service, right? And essentially what they did is they took all of these different leads, all these different companies, and it wasn't like gyms or anything like that. It was all these different, businesses. And they essentially came to the conclusion that when someone opts in for something, roughly about 50% of the people will buy, okay? Which means 50% of the people will not buy, okay? Now, of the 50% that buy, only 15% will buy in the first 100 days, leaving 85% to buy over the next 100 weeks. So I want let that marinate for a second and let that all of a sudden just be like, hey, there could be a reason why that when a lot of people are opting in for things that they are not buying right away and not coming in right away, the research tells us that only 15% are going to do that. And so this begs the question, two things. One, it's managing your expectations on how many, people you're going to convert, right? In terms of, how many leads you're going to get. But the second thing is that what is your process for following up with these people long term? What are you doing over the next 100 weeks to get them to actually show up? And that is a big shift. And so we need a process for the first 15%. But we also need a process for the next 85% because that's a much more different process than the first 100 days. Okay. Now, I'm not going to show you a process for the next 100 weeks because that's kind of could be a whole different ballgame in and of itself. Today, I'm really just focusing on, all right, how do we maximize that 15%, right? Because that 15% are the people that are going to give you money right away. The 85% are not going to give you money right away. They go into what's called a future bank. Okay, they're important, but I know you guys showed up to this training to want to make money, right now. Okay, so there's really the three very, very important pieces to this follow-up system that's going to get people on the phone or even just get people to answer even a text message or anything like that. Okay, here's the first piece that's really important. The first piece that really is important is speed. We got to do it fast. If we don't do it fast, there's a really good chance that we're going to lose them. Okay. So I was on my front porch looking at solar panels. My neighbor had solar panels. And I was like, man, my neighbor's a pretty smart guy. Maybe I'll check it out. So I opt in to get information about solar panels. I didn't get any contact for 3 days. Nothing. And in 3 days, it had kind of gone in my ear and out. I was just like, I'm done with it. I thought about it. And I bet you if they followed up with me, like literally that minute, I would have solar panels on my roof right now. But they waited and they waited too long. And I was kind of moving on to the next thing. I was done with it. This is understand a really important point. People are interested today and disinterested in the next hour. That is a really, really understand. That's human behavior. People are interested today and disinterested in the next hour. Okay. And so when someone opts in through your website, understand that they are the most interested that they will ever be. Okay. So 85% in the next one. So the second piece is sequence, right? And this is the order in which you follow up with people. Okay. And that is text, that is call, that is voicemail, and that's email in that order. Okay. A text message is going to be your best bet to get somebody on the phone. Okay. A call is going to be next best. A voicemail is going to be best after that, and email. So we're running through this sequence. But the key is that you're not just trying one channel. I know I have some people that literally they don't answer any messages from me via email, and then I send them a message on Instagram, and they get back to me right away. So you got to understand that people are using different channels to be able to move forward, with this. And the last one is persistence. Okay. Persistence, basically 7 to 12 times before you move them over. Okay. Understand this 7 to 12 times before you move them over. We got to have buoyancy, guys. We got to have buoyancy. I think it's a really, really important piece of all of it. Okay. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you, because I really want to make sure we maximize two things. One, I want to maximize the Q&A. Okay, of this because we're going to do Q&A at the end. And then the second thing is I want you to be able to, take notes on this graph right here so you can get a picture of it. So what I want you to do is I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. And based on what I've discussed so far, I want you to write down one question you have about with the challenges you have in sales. And what this is going to do is this is going to help us frame the Q&A part. Okay. And I want us to show up to the Q&A with really good questions because sometimes the game changer in this whole process is the Q&A. Okay. So silence for 2 minutes. Everyone's going to write down one question. And then I'll be back in 2 minutes.
If you guys have any questions or you think you have a question but don't know if you want to write it in, my advice is just write it in. Because everyone else is probably thinking it, or someone is probably thinking it just like you. There we go. Now I see stuff rolling in.
Okay, so hopefully you got your question. And what I really want you to do is understand that this picture right here, um, this is not necessarily, the exact most perfect follow-up system, right? It is a follow-up system. And so just understand that I don't know if anyone has a better one than this, but at the end of the day, what you should do is have something like this. You can take this one and swipe it and use it, but you want to kind of have a script for the first kind of roughly 30 days of what happens when a lead comes in. Okay. I think this is a good one. I think you could take a picture of this and use it. But at the end of the day, I don't know if there's someone that has this perfect foolproof thing that's going to work better than anything else. This one tends to work well for us. Hey, could I ask, Leo, someone's unmuted and I'm just hearing a lot of background noise. If you could just have them mute themselves. Guys, if you could just everyone mute, that's helpful. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about the pre-framing process that stops the no-shows. Okay, pre-framing process that stops the no-shows. This is how to book a consultation that people wouldn't dare not show up to, right? There's a lot of mistakes being made when people are booking a consultation, a lot. Okay, and so the first mistake I see is people not controlling the conversation. That's kind of the first mistake I made. And this is called setting the agenda, right? Setting the agenda. When all of a sudden you get on the phone with somebody and they're like, well, how much does it cost? Well, what time are your classes? Well, do you guys have kettlebells there or are your trainers certified? And you all of a sudden get bombarded by that. It means that you have not controlled the conversation. And so what you want to do is you want to start from the very, very start. You want to push all that stuff aside and really focus on making sure that you control the conversation. Okay. And you do that through setting the agenda. Okay. You do that through setting the agenda. And essentially what setting the agenda is basically you saying something along the lines of, awesome. So glad you're here. Here's how these conversations tend to go. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to ask you a couple of different questions about what you're looking to accomplish and what you've done in the past and things like that. And then I'll tell you a little bit about what we do. And then at the end, I'll answer some questions for you. Is that cool? Cool. All right. So just that little bit right there, all that does is it sets the frame for, I'm not going to ask them, well, how much does it cost? Right. And if all of a sudden they bombard you and they say something along, well, I don't care about your agenda. I just want to know what the cost is. You know what I would say, honestly? You know what I would say? You know what? I really don't think that we're fit to work together. And I would get off the phone. I honestly would. Right? I honestly really would. Like if someone literally can't follow that process, they're not going to be a good customer for you. Okay? So you got to set the control. You got to set the tone and ensure that you are controlling the conversation. And it's not that, but I'm going to say this later. I want you to write this down. You ready for this? People are begging to be led. They want this. They want control. They want certainty in their lives. Okay? And when you show up and you're a little wishy-washy and you're like kind of all over the place, you're not giving that to them. Okay? One of the things, like when I show up on a mastermind call or I show up on one of these calls, like I am certain in what I'm teaching. I'm very, very certain that what I'm teaching you, if you implement a lot of this stuff, it will help you grow your business. I am 100% certain, right? But if I came in and I was just like, you could do a little this and that, and I'm not really sure if this works or that works, like you're not going to believe that. You want a leader that is certain, and you need to be that leader for them, and especially in a sales situation. People are begging to be led. Okay? So that's how you set the tone. The second piece is you need to ask the right questions. Like legit sales is all about asking questions. There's not a lot of skill to it. It's honestly, if you can just be a good question asker, you're probably going to be pretty good at sales. Okay? So here are recruit opener questions. I love this question. Ready? Who introduced you to us? What is that saying? Who introduced you to us is telling that most of the people that come to us are from referral. Now, even if they opted into your website or even if they opted into something else, what you're framing it as is who introduced you to us, because most of our customers come via way of referral because people are talking about our business and people are there, right? So that, and then they may say, oh, well, I saw it on the website. Oh, I heard about your friend. Okay. But a rapport in the beginning is going to be really good. If you can get another person that you're talking about, that's a rapport builder right away. And they might say, oh, well, I heard it through the website, but I think I have a friend that works there. Her name's Janet. You're like, oh, Janet? Yeah. Boom. And then you have a common ground that you guys can both stand on. So the question, who introduced you to us, is a great way to kind of start building a rapport and get things on the right foot. Okay, you could now. I'm not saying, and don't. I want you to pay attention more to the frame of this than the actual questions. Don't go down the list and be like, all right, who introduced you to us? What prompted you to reach out to us today? Tell me what you're looking to accomplish. I want you to understand the frame. Okay, and the frame is there's going to be some openers that we're going to ask to kind of get the conversation rolling. Okay, the next piece is we want to try and understand where they're coming from. Remember, I talked about we want to understand, we want attunement. We want to see things through their eyes. So tell me what I love this question. Tell me what you're looking to accomplish. Okay, and very, very open-ended questions. Can you walk me through what you're currently doing about the problem, right? What are you currently doing? They want to lose X pounds. Like, tell me what you're currently doing about it. So the next piece is you start asking questions to help understand where they're at, what they're going through. Are they a qualified customer, right? Because we're kind of pre-qualifying them at the same time. That's kind of what we're doing and understand the situation. Okay, number 3 is we want to find the pain. We do want to find the pain. Now we're going to do this much more in the next phase. Okay, but we still want to kind of figure out what the struggle is. Okay, and what it's been. And so this is the best question for this is like, what have you tried to fix this before and what happened? Because now what you're going to do is you're going to have them bring up a lot of the stuff that didn't work. I tried this and I tried that and I tried this and I tried that. And your job is to show up differently than all those things, right? And you're not there to say anything like, oh, well, that person sucks at what they do and blah, 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 blah. But you're just essentially asking the right questions to help prompt and bring out the pain. Okay, then this is really, really important. You got to tell them what happens next. Okay? You don't need to go into a big diatribe about your program. Okay? You don't need to talk about your ratio of we train people in small groups from 1-to-6 ratio and we use kettlebells and we use this and that you're losing people. Okay? Well, the next step is, we have you come in and I'll show you around the gym. We'll sit down, and I'll ask you some questions a little bit more, get a little deeper into what you're looking to accomplish. I'll show you kind of the different options that we've got, and then we can make a decision from there, right? So you're just basically telling them the next step in the process. You're not hard selling them on. Now, there are some people that sell on the phone. That would be different, right? That would be different, but I'm assuming that a majority of you are not selling on the phone. The majority of you are booking appointments to come in for a free trial class or whatever that is, okay? So you got to tell them cleanly and clearly what happens next, okay? And then last thing is offer 2 specific times, okay? So it's like, hey, I got Monday at 8 and I got, Monday at 9, whatever it is. Give them 2 options. Which one works better for you? Simple stuff. You guys do that. Okay. Last thing, and this is really what helps with the show rate. 2, we are going to send them emails and texts after they book, right? So whether you book them through text or whether you book them through there, we do want to send stuff and I'll show you what those are. But the second thing is, here's the magic question. If something comes up and you need to reschedule, don't say cancel, say reschedule. Will you please let us know? And so what you're doing, that's called commitment and consistency. Okay, and that's from Dr. Robert Cialdini. Okay, it's one of the most powerful laws of persuasion. You are getting their commitment that if they do need to reschedule, that they will. This helps prevent a massive amount of no show, no call. Right? Many of you are all of a sudden people are ghosting you. and they're ghosting you, most of the time they're ghosting you is because the conversation didn't go well, right? They're ghosting you because that, but here we can get their commitment, right? People do not want to commit to something and then not fulfill that commitment. It's like everything against their being. So this question allows it to frame it in a way that they're committing to it, and they're going to let us know if they do. Because that happens a lot, right? It's like it's not uncommon for someone to reschedule, but that's what we want. We want them to reschedule and come at a different time. That's fine. Okay. What we don't want to do is ghost us. Okay. And there's many other forms of this. There's many other ways we can do this. There's ways in the show sequence that we could do. But that's just a really powerful question that is helpful for you. Okay, so now what do we send them after you book? So you book the appointment with them. What do you send them after? This is crucial, guys. This is crucial. Okay, the first thing is, okay, what did I say in the very beginning? The number one reason that people don't buy is people are afraid. Okay, what makes people afraid the most? Uncertainty. Okay, uncertainty is what makes people the most afraid, not knowing. Okay, what do people want most in this world? They want certainty. They want to know. And so your first confirmation isn't this, and this bothers me. I think a lot of gyms do this, and you send them like this stock confirmation email from MindBody that says you have an appointment booked at this time at this gym with this trainer. And it's like, looks like you're getting a message from your doctor's office. You do not want to show up like your doctor's office. You want to show up like a human being and a real person. Okay? And so this email that they get immediately should be, the purpose of it is to decrease uncertainty and give them certainty about exactly what's going to happen. Exactly what's going to happen. Because here's the thing. I will tell you this. So my son is he's 10 years old and he's been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for I think 6 years now. Okay? And he's 10. He's a yellow belt. He's pretty good. Okay, now I tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for like 6 months. And the first time I went, I was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know if I was going to get my arm broken. I don't know if I was going to get choked out, and like it was very, very scary walking into that environment. And I'm an athlete. Like I know I've been around this stuff before, but that was a very, very uncertain thing for me. And ideally, what should have happened is I should have gotten some email that's going to tell me what is going to happen, or a phone call that would tell me what's going to happen. And understand that a lot of the people that have never worked out before and have never been in a gym before, you guys take it for granted. You live in the gym, you grew up in the gym. They haven't. That's scary to them. And so this email helps decrease the amount of uncertainty that they have. The second piece is, and I really suggest you do this, many of you won't, okay, is to pull up your phone and talk to your phone and send them a video message, right? And the video message could be something along the lines of, hey, Deandra, it was so great meeting you today. Super excited to meet with you on Friday. I loved our conversation, and I'm really looking forward to helping you, in the next chapter, right? Whatever. You guys know what to say, okay? But getting a video text message that's just like that from a real human being and a real person, that's way better than the doctor's office confirmation text message that you have an appointment at this day. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing you do is what's called the reciprocity email. Okay, and this is basically where you're giving them something, some type of a gift, right? If you have a free report, if you have a book that you've written, whatever you want to give them, some type of email that basically gives them a gift for showing up. And the last piece is the social proof email, and this is an email that shows all of the social proof that you have at your gym. Okay, so send them a link to your website that's got your testimonials and stuff like that. It's like, hey, we're looking forward to meeting with you. Here's a quick link of all the different stories and success stories of some of our members. Right. So what you're doing is you're hitting all the boxes of persuasion in between when they book and in between when they show up. And we're lacing all this together to increase the likelihood that they actually show. Okay. Now, what are we looking for? Believe it or not, that's winning. I know. Believe it or not, that's winning. If we can get 20 to 30% of the leads that we get to show up for a consultation or show up for a trial, we're winning. And so some of you might be like, oh my God, I suck. And you're like at 40% show. Like you don't suck. You may just need to get more leads because you don't have enough leads. But in this situation, this is winning around 20 to 30%. Okay. Can some people do more? Yes. And I'll show you in a second how you can do better than 20 to 30%. Okay. And here it is right here. Diversifying where your leads come from can fix show rate. Let's say you do nothing that I just told you. Okay. If all of your leads are coming from Meta and you're following a lot of the stuff, you can get a little bit better. Okay. But at the end of the day, if all your leads are coming from Meta or all your leads are coming from one source, a lot of times the show rate will kind of be where it's at. The way that you increase your show rate is you get better customers. Okay, so I will tell you this. So we've been marketing in the newspaper for the last couple months. We have a 100% show rate from leads from the newspaper. 100%. Okay. Now we don't have a 100% show rate overall, right? Our percentage is down, but our percentage drastically came up when we just changed the way that we're marketing. The other one was we had a guy in our last CEO mastermind, and he says they got a ton of customers that quarter from referral. Or sorry, from reactivation. If you're doing regular reactivation and getting new customers from reactivation, do you have a show rate problem from reactivations? You probably don't. Do you have a show rate problem from referrals? You probably don't. Do many of you have a show rate problem from your website? Maybe, but I bet you it's less. So understand this. Sometimes diversifying where your leads are coming from is one of the best things you can do to improve show rate. Okay, the second thing is this. Is what are you doing about the 85% that will buy over the next 100 weeks? What are you doing about the 85% that buy? I just told you what to do with the 15%, but what are you doing with the 85% that will buy over the next 100 weeks? I will tell you this. The best thing you can do is send 3 email newsletters every week. Okay, send 3 emails to your list. Educate, entertain, inspire. Those are the things that you want to do with your emails. Just do those 3 things and have a regular pulse and have calls to action to come into your gym and just do that forever. And you'll tend to get some of those 85% a lot sooner than you might. Okay. So if you're not doing anything about it, definitely start that. 3 emails a week. That's a good sweet spot. It's a good number. Now, if you're doing 0, start with 1. If you're doing only 1, go to 2. Just add 1, but three emails a week is a good sweet spot, and that really helps with getting those 85% to kick them over the edge. Okay, so number 3, let's talk about selling memberships. Okay, what are we trying to do? Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to give them clarity on where they are now, which is their current situation, and we're trying to give them clarity on where they want to go, is their desired situation. And we want them to buy, obviously. But that's sales in a nutshell. Helping them get clear on where they are now and where they want to go. And then using your business to help bridge the gap of where they want to be. That is the entire game. That is the entire game of what we're trying to do. Where are they now? Where do they want to be? Bridge the gap for them. Help them bridge the gap. Okay? All right, so here's a couple of ways how we do this. 1, so now we're talking about someone that comes to the gym. Right? Someone that shows up to the actual business for the first time. Again, it could be a consult, it could be a trial, whatever it is. They're showing up to the gym for the first time. We got to make a good first impression. Okay? We got to make a good. So what I would do is I would have a gift ready for them. Even if it's something simple. Like what about giving them a bottle of water? As soon as they come in, giving them a bottle of water. Give them, I don't know, like one of our members, Devin Gage, this is actually really smart. He sends them a text message, and the text message has a picture of a vanilla protein shake and a chocolate protein shake. And he's like, hey, we got a protein shake waiting for you when you come. Do you prefer vanilla or chocolate? and then they respond with vanilla or chocolate, and then they're showing up, and you give them the shake, and what they respond with. It's brilliant, right? But there's a gift waiting for them, right? Number two, be ready and waiting for them. The worst thing that could happen is they show up to the gym and there's like no one around. They're already uncertain, and now all of a sudden they're looking around and there's no one around. Like, no, you should be standing there ready and waiting for them. And if you're training in a session and they walk into the door, you run over to them. You tell your people, hey, give me 1 sec. I'm just going to tell this new customer to sit down and fill out some paperwork or whatever you have them do. But do not allow them to walk into your gym alone, wandering around the place trying to figure out what's next. That we were just putting the uncertainty on performance enhancing drugs by doing that. Okay. Number three, you can do things like have their name on a board or a notebook. So if you have a notebook, you can have their name already on it. Right. So they're like this guy was expecting me. This guy was like thinking about me. We have a chalkboard at our gym. So when someone's coming in, we write their name on the chalkboard and they show up and for the first time, their name's on the chalkboard. Okay. And then this is huge. Tell your staff to introduce themselves to the new member. So they come in and they're talking to you, but as they're walking through the gym to either go to the consult room, you should instruct your staff and to walk over and introduce themselves. Okay? I'm telling you, little things like that go a very, very long way. Okay. Second thing, environment. Now, I'm going to take you guys on a little field trip. You ready for this? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I got to see myself. Hold on. I'm taking you guys on a field trip to my gym. Where am I? Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm in the.
Do you want to stop share, Vince, real quick?
Oh, they can't see it.
You're a very small image.
All right, hold on.
There you go. That's good.
Okay, so this is our consult room. Okay, so you can see that you come in. There's a round table there, and there's only 2 chairs for them. There's testimonials on the wall. Sorry, I know you can't see it too well. Testimonials on the wall. There's a whiteboard right here. There's a window to the gym with a quote that says it's the start that stops most people. There's our books, right? There's supplements that we sell here. And the wall is actually painted blue specifically because blue is the color of trust. Little plant in the corner right here. This is really cool. Check this out. So these are our testimonials. So we have a binder with all of our customer testimonials. So if we get someone to come in and we would turn to a testimonial that looks just like them. So understand the whole point of this room is that it's set up to sell a membership, right? It is really, really set up to provide an experience that is going to get someone excited and get someone focused around buying a membership and coming to the gym. So when I built this gym, that consultation room was built with all of those things in mind. So wherever you sell, and maybe you don't have a private office or anything like that, but just understand that when you're doing this stuff, that the environment actually matters a lot. And you want to strategically make the environment a very, very effective place that people will buy a membership. If all of a sudden you walk into your office and you got a half-eaten sandwich on the desk and a protein shake that stinks and you got your Tupperwares that smell like that's not a great selling environment, to get customers in the door. So if you don't have like a room like that and you have your own office, well, clean it up and, do it. Like you got to take your sweaty shirt off the desk um, and make sure that it's primed to sell. Okay, we got to show up in a way. If we're going to sell big memberships, we got to show up in a way that's professional and make that good first impression. Okay, so that's just a little field trip I took you guys on. Let me go back to my share. Okay, cool. All right, so here's the framework. I don't have the time to go over all these things, right? But this is basically the framework that you would do if a sit-down consultation. One is building rapport, two is the discovery, three is assessment, four is prescription, and then five is the close, right? So that's kind of like if we're going to lead someone through a sale. And remember, what are we selling? lifetime customer value. We're selling a $14,000 membership. We're not selling a $200 membership. So this process and the thinking around what happens during this hour is very, very, very important. Okay. Now, as promised in the advertising of this program, I want to talk to you about this very, very important question I want you to ask. Okay. So we talked about the power of getting them and giving them clarity on where they are, right? The next question is going to help give them clarity on what they want. Okay. And here's the thing, nobody asked them about that. There's very few companies and very few businesses. When was the last time someone sat down and asked you, tell me what you're looking to accomplish? What do you actually want? Does your doctor ask you that? Right? Like, I'll be honest, like, I love my doctor. And I fly out to him once a year for Chicago, and I just hired him this year. Okay. And I'm spending a boatload of money per month to work with him. He never like really asked me like what I want to accomplish. I kind of know what I want because I'm kind of like you guys. I'm success driven and I kind of know. But at the end of the day, there was never a process where he's like, all right, well, tell me like what does success look like for you? You know, we're going to work together for the next year. Like, what does success look like for you? He never asked me, not even close. And so understand that a lot of people aren't asking these kinds of questions. And when you show up and you do, you show up in a different light. You position yourself as, write this down, a trusted advisor more than a salesperson. The worst thing to be seen in a sales situation is a salesman. Your goal is trusted advisor. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We show up as a trusted advisor, not a salesperson. So here's the question. You ready for it? Game changer. I spent an entire 4-hour block of a seminar learning this question from the strategic coach. Okay, and I was in Philly when I did it. And here's the question. If we were having this conversation 1 year from today, and you were looking back on that year, what has to have happened with your health and fitness for you to feel happy with your progress? That's the question. That's the magic question. Here's the first thing someone's going to say. You ready for this? The first thing someone's going to say is they're going to pause and they're going to be like, that's a really good question. And so when that happens, and that's a really, really good thing. That's a really good thing to question because imagine yourself, like Jack, imagine yourself sitting down with like this 56-year-old suit that makes $4 million a year. And he's like, oh, what do these gym guys know? What do these trainers know? When all of a sudden you can ask a good question, you show up in a different light. They will look at you differently. And so this question positions you as an authority. It positions you as a thinker, as a thoughtful, intelligent person that's asking really good questions. Okay? So that's the first thing it does. It positions you to look smart. Okay? But it gets them to focus on the future. That's kind of what it does. It gets them to focus on not right now. Okay, not I need to lose 5 pounds like in the first 2 seconds. Like right, I'm focusing on where I want to be in a year. Because here's the thing: do we change lives in 2 months? No, we change lives. I have customers that have been with me for 18 years. 18 years. Okay, we have an ad, we have a new ad out. Okay, and our new ad, I'm really excited about this. But our new ad we took a bunch of our customers and we asked them how old they are and how old they feel. And essentially what we did was we put their pictures in the newspaper and I think there's like 17 of them. Okay, 17 pictures, almost think like baseball cards. And on the top there's a headline and it says, I feel better at 60 with their real age than I did at 46. And so basically we now have this anti-aging proof from all these customers. But most of the people that are doing that, they have been with us for a long time. And we're reversing age. We're making them feel younger, which is a really powerful thing for people to have. Okay? So what we're doing is we're getting them focused on the future. Now, it shifts you from having to talk about all the stuff that you need to do. The worst thing you can do is like, well, we train people in small groups and we do this. Like, no, shut up. Just stop talking about that stuff. If you find yourself talking too much, you have lost. Your job should be listening and asking really good questions. That's your job in sales. Okay. And it positions you as someone that asks good. I said this before. It positions you as someone that asks good questions, not some jabroni trainer. So if there's any rock fans in here, jabroni. Hopefully no one's offended by my term jabroni. Okay, so now we asked the question, what has to have happened for you to feel happen with your health and fitness for you to feel happy with your progress? Now, when we're doing the question and we're asking them, what we want to do is I want you to position it and think about this. We're trying to build a list of things that they want. Almost think it's like a Christmas list. Okay? What do they want? They want to be X weight. They want to have more energy. They want to play with their grandkids or whatever they want, right? And your job is to keep pulling things out of them, pulling things out of them. Now, some people will go on and on and on and talk forever. Other people will say, I think I'm going to lose 25 pounds and they'll stop. Okay, if that happens, your job is, well, tell me more. Your job is pretend this is Christmas and this is your wish list and you can, whatever you want relative to your health and fitness, this is what you got. And so there may need to be some prompting that you do to get them to build the list. But your job is to get them to answer this question and build a list of at least 5 things that define success for them in 12 months. Okay? And then once you get those 5 things, what you do is you say this question. What's getting in the way of you having that now? And then all of a sudden they start talking about all the things and all the challenges and all the problems that they have, right? And now all of a sudden your job is to be the gym and to be the business that's going to help them overcome all of those things. Right? So there's a follow-up question, and this is like the very important. I'm not going to get into this question, this is a powerful one too, for time's sake. But the big follow-up question is, what's getting in the way of you having that now? What are they not doing? What's getting in the way of having it now? And now you're going to kind of find the things that you're going to have to solve for them. Okay. So that's a game changer of a question. I strongly suggest you use it and you memorize it word for word. We worked on this question for 4 hours. Okay. They were like, do not change a word in the question. Like, what has to have happened? That's an important piece of the question. Okay. So how it's asked is really, really important. And I strongly advise you guys to ask it exactly how it is. Okay. The next piece is assessment. I'm not going to go over that, but like many of you use like an in-body scan or functional movement screen. I think that's an important piece of the puzzle. Okay, but what I want to cover today is prescription. Okay, remember I told you your job is to be a trusted advisor. Okay, what do trusted advisors do? They prescribe. Okay, they prescribe things. So I talked about people are begging to be led. The way we prescribe things is through something called a health roadmap. Okay. And so what I want to do is I'm actually going to show you ours. This is ours. So this is what we use at GFP. So this is how we do prescription. We essentially, fill this out with them as they're going through the consult, but we essentially their name, what their goal is, the reason why they're doing it. We give them a mini food plan. So we'll actually build a mini food plan with them while they're doing it. And then the prescription comes from like when they're going to do training. So if you can see small group personal training, that's like when they would come in with us. So we would write in, all right, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to do small group personal training. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you're going to go for a walk. Down here, we're going to start, taking topical mag before bed, which is like a cream you rub on your arms. We're going to make sure we're getting, 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And so what essentially we're doing is we're building out a prescription for them for what they need to do for their health on one page. And when we get this, and again, this is before a close of sale. So I'm building all of this with them as we're doing the consultation. And now they're getting clarity. Now they're getting certainty. Now they're getting what do I need to do to succeed relative to how I want to be. So this is of all the things that I've created and all the tools I've created for my businesses, for companies, like this is one of the most powerful things I've ever done. And it's such a simple thing that you guys can take and swipe and deploy. But this is the prescription right there. Okay. So let me go back to my there. That was the health roadmap. Now I'll say this too. A lot of times, you start to say things like, "All right, well, here's what's going to happen next," right? And you kind of have the transition in mind, right? I don't want that to happen. Okay, I don't want the transition to happen. I want them to ask you. Okay, that's the goal. The goal in a consultation is that you do such a good job of making it about them and not talking about you that they all of a sudden go, all right, well, and they're all excited about it. And it's like, what's next? What's the next step? And I'm telling you, if they ask you that, game over, right? If all of a sudden you're like, well, what do you think? Do you want to do it? All right, well, let me tell you about the program. No, your job is to do such a good job with these steps that I just told you, is that they say and get so excited. They're like, all right, well, how do I sign up? Or how do I do this? Well, what's the next step? That's the goal. Now, does it always happen? No. But that should be the goal, is they come to you asking for what's next, not you going to them. What's next? Okay. Now, consultation conversion scoreboard, 70 to 80% of consultations buy membership. Okay. There's caveats to this, guys. Okay. So don't take this as gospel. The majority of my customers are doing month to month memberships. It's possible that this percentage goes down if there's like an annual commitment or something like that. It's possible that if it goes down, even if you're doing trial memberships, okay, like 30-day trials and things like that. But if you're selling month to month and you're selling from a consult right to a new member, we like to see 70, 80%. So 7 out of 10, you're making the sale. You're on the right track there. Okay. Okay. So let's get to price. Okay. Your value judgment does not matter. Sorry. Your mom's value judgment does not matter either. Only the value judgment of your clients matter. So when we're talking price, that's the only value judgment that matters. So if someone says, oh, you're charging too much money, if they're not a customer, then that doesn't actually matter. Okay? So you got to understand this. The second piece is the most expensive is usually perceived as the best. And sometimes being too cheap can be a major red flag to the right people. If you're selling to the right people and they come in and you're too cheap, that's a red flag for them. Like whenever I see something, I invest in things like my health, and I see something that's almost like weirdly inexpensive, that's a red flag for me. My radar goes up and it's like, why is that so cheap? Why is that so inexpensive? And I think something's wrong with it. So, and usually the most expensive thing is perceived as good. Not always, but is. Okay. And the last piece is it is a near certainty that the chain linking your current product to your current price is bigger, thicker, stronger in your mind than the one in your customer's mind. I'll read that again. It's a certainty that the chain linking your current product to your current price is bigger, thicker, and stronger in your mind than the one in your customer's mind. Okay? So here are some funny jokes of stuff. Stuff people spend big money on. Okay, this is something called cat poop coffee. And legit, they take these like jungle cats, they go and they eat these berries on these trees. And what they do is they eat the berries and then they poop the berries out and then they make coffee beans from these berries. And it's $80 a pound for this coffee. And people buy it all day long. Okay? If you want a consulting day with Dan Kennedy, it's going to cost you $23,400 for one day, for one 7-hour day. If you want to do a private Disney tour, it's $900 an hour and a minimum of 7 hours. If my mastermind's a lot cheaper than this. It's $100K a year for this to join this mastermind. Understand this. that people spend dumb money on stuff all the time. Okay, there are people spending gobs and gobs of money out there and on things that are way, way less important. Okay, way, way less important than their health. Okay, so you guys are selling something really, really powerful and really, really important. So don't be afraid to charge. Here are some basic general market ranges to work from. Again, some of these ranges come from, different areas of the country. Like if you're in New York City, your prices are going to be higher than if you're in, Oklahoma, right? So that's where the range comes in. But I know everyone here probably does different types of training. Some of you are one-on-one people, some of you are small group people, large group. But this is just from what I've seen, that the ranges are good for prices. Okay. Now, talking about presenting price. So, like when you get to the point where you're showing them the prices, I believe gym owners are notorious for overcomplicating their options. Okay, and a confused mind doesn't buy. So, I want you to think about like when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, how you have so many different options and so many different things, your mind wants to explode, your head wants to explode. And I think a lot of us tend to do that, especially early on. We want to try and offer lots of things because we don't want to miss a sale. But sometimes that wide variety tends to confuse buyers. Okay. And so I teach what's called a good, better, best model. Okay. Good, better, best. And it's basically three options that have very, very layered different price structures, which I'll explain in a second. But this is kind of what it would look like. You would show them three options: $299, $349, and $997. Okay, that's a basic, simple, really. And then let me give you the psychology behind this. Okay, so the good option is priced higher per session at $37. Okay, which makes the better option, okay, $29, feel like the obvious move. Okay, the best option is priced high enough to make everything look like a steal. Right, so that's what this is. I don't really even care if you sell that. The purpose is to make 349 look smaller by 997. Okay, it's what's called an anchor. And honestly, like Dan Kennedy says, that 5 to 20% of people will buy that option. In my experience, it's much closer to 5. But again, that's okay. And ideally, the goal is you 3 times a week. I think for us in our businesses is a sweet spot. So if you can get people come to the gym a minimum of 3 days a week, retention's going to improve, results are going to improve, a lot's going to get better if we can start shifting towards that. Okay? So that's basically how you present price. I love it. It's a simple, easy way that you can present your prices. You show them 3 boxes with 3 different price points using the psychology that I just showed you. I think if you have a 1 time a week option, I would take it off your menu. I know. All right. If you have 1 time a week, I would take it off your menu because here's the thing. If you have 1 time a week option, what is it? It's the cheapest. A lot of times people are buying it and you're not going to get people as good of results. We have made people so much money by simply just telling them to take their 1 time a week off. And now when they take it off, people don't buy it because it's not there. Right. And so what do? They buy two. All right. Big question here. Should you raise prices on current members? Should you raise prices on current members? Yes, you should. Despite what some people will tell you, yes, you should, but only if you have an acceptable churn rate. If you have a poor churn rate, it's probably not a good idea, right? Because what it's going to do is your market is telling you that your product is kind of lukewarm, and it's really, I would focus on doing a better job before I raise my prices. Okay. 3 ways to get the courage to raise your price. 1 is you do math. Okay. 2 is you talk to someone that did it. Okay. We have this guy named Marty. He raises prices on everybody, and I just have everyone call him. And he's like, yeah, I raised my prices and everything went great. And they're like, they all feel better about it. All right. So sometimes you just got to talk to someone that did it. And the 3 is read your testimonials and reinforce that, hey, you're changing people's lives. And because you're changing people's lives, you deserve to get paid more for doing it. Okay? All right, now, if you are fearful of raising your prices, here is the math that you would go through. Okay, let me walk this through. Let's say you have a current situation of 100 members paying you $200 a month. Okay, you're doing 20K a month. And let's say we propose a price raise on those people of 20%. And so it brings the $200 to $240. Okay. This equates to $4 per session, assuming the average is 10 sessions a month. So around $4 a session. Okay. If everyone stays, 100 members times 240 is 24,000. So you go from 20,000 a month to 24,000 a month. $4,000 in recurring revenue overnight. Okay. Now, sometimes we have doom and gloom situations, and I do like to do this where we kind of pick a worst case scenario. Let's say we lose 20 members, which is a lot. Okay, if I'm on a price raise. We go down to 80. So we go from 100 to 80. And so we're at 19,200. It's almost the same. The amount of money is almost the same. Like we were doing 20K here, we're doing 19K here, and we lost 20 people. Okay. And we have more capacity to add new people at the higher prices. Right? And my guess is that you're not going to lose 20% of your membership. That's a lot. I've never even come close to seeing that happen. Right? But even if you do, you're kind of in the same boat. And it adds $48,000 a year, and over a decade, that's $480,000 in profit. Not a bad idea. I'm seeing some squirming going on. I'm seeing some squirming from people right now. It's okay. I've had many people do this. You'll be okay. Now, maybe you don't want to do this. Maybe you just want to raise prices on new members going forward. Okay, you ready for this? Everyone get up, Faith, take out your notebook. Everyone take out their notebook. All right, you ready for this? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to open Microsoft Word. Okay. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the document that has your price sheet. Third thing you're going to do is make your prices bigger. Click Save, click Print, and present this at your next sales consultation. That's all you need to do, folks. Oh, I don't know what happened there. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to send a letter. You don't need to tell anybody. You just need to go in and do it. And I did this yesterday with a gym owner. Literally, we just went in yesterday. All right, this guy, John. This is yesterday, April 22nd. 2026. John came in and he was doing 13K. Okay. And he wanted to get to 20K. That's what he told me. He had 50 clients. I promise you, this is yesterday. This is a real success story. Joe, if you're on, you were here. Okay. At current state, John needed 75 clients to hit 20K. So you need to go from 50 to 75 to hit 20K. All right. Based on his churn and acquisition rates, this would have taken him about 12 months to get to 20K. Okay. So that's if we just get more of what he was getting before. Instead, we raised his prices on all current members by $40 a month. Okay. We sent a letter to all of his current members and tell them their membership is going up by $40 a month. And we raised his new prices by $40 more a month, because a lot of his members were on old grandfather rates. Okay, so we raised the new prices also by $40 a month. So all the new people coming in are paying an average of $435. Keeping his churn rate and acquisition rates the same, getting to 20K will take him 2 to 3 months, even if he loses 5 clients during the price raise. So understand, like sometimes we want to grow, and the only way we grow is just to get more customers. And I will tell you, that's the slowest way to grow. The fastest way to grow is to change your price. Okay? And this is pretty much the letter that I gave him. This is the actual letter that I used, that I sent to my members back in October. And I raised my memberships by $49 a month. Okay? On all of my members. Okay? And this is the exact letter that we sent to them. Okay? All right. Number 5. Getting your members to buy more and refer more. We're not going to spend a ton of time on this, okay? Some of you know this stuff. All right, how to make existing members more valuable. 1, get them to buy more stuff. the best thing you can do is get them to buy more sessions. How many people do you have going twice a week? Well, the first thing I would do is try to get them to do 3 days a week. And really simply, just ask them, hey, do you want to try 3 days a week next month? It's on me. And just do that with as many people as possible. Okay? Sell them supplements. Sell them stretching. Sell them other stuff. Okay, now, if you have 20 members, don't focus on this. Your focus should be getting to 100 members. But if you're past 100 members, now we got to start selling them more stuff. Okay? And the next piece is getting them to refer more. Okay? We want to try and get them to refer more. If all of a sudden they can refer us more customers, they are going to double in value, right? And you want to do specific things. So getting them to buy more, one, you need to have stuff to sell them. Okay, so you got to have some stuff. Okay, two, you need to know, they need to know you sell it. I guarantee you a lot of people don't know you sell stuff. So what you need to do is you need to constantly be reminded of what you've got and how to buy it. Okay. And then getting more referrals is really, this is a real simple thing. It's called the referral habit loop. And anytime someone comes up to you and says, hey, I really love your gym. Jack, you're an amazing trainer. Okay, that's called the cue. The routine is when someone says that to you, it's like, oh, awesome. You know, I'm really glad you're happy, really glad you're liking it. Who's the first person that pops into your mind that you think would benefit from coming in and doing this with you? Right? And so what I would do is, like, every time something like that happens, every time someone tells you that they're having success and they're doing really good and feeling great, that should be a cue for you to ask for a referral. Okay. Point of sale referral, every time you get a new customer, give them some type of a card to give for a referral. You could do events. We have something called the 4 Bullet Friday email that we send every Friday to our members. That's basically a, kind of a basic, type of email that's sent just to our membership that that helps them send us more referrals. Right. I'll show you how to get that in a second. All right. So I want you to like check this calculator out. Okay. So
If you click it, Vince, it should just open.
no, here we go. All right, so check this out. So I created this calculator for you guys. It's called the Gym Revenue Calculator. So let's just say that we have 50 members, okay? We're getting 50 leads a month. We have a 10% conversion rate from lead to consult. We have a 50% conversion rate, close rate on consults. Our average monthly membership price is $300. And we have a 4% attrition rate. Okay, let's just pretend we have all that situation, right? Now, this is what's going to happen if we're doing that every month. We're going to net 0, and we'll net a little bit more because we get some new people in. So by the end of the year, we'll be +5. Okay, so this is where a lot of people are. A lot of people are stalemating in their growth. A lot of people are staying the same size. Okay, so this is not an unrealistic thing. So they'll go from 50 to 55, and they'll go from 15 to 16K. So a little bit of small growth. We're just kind of creeping along. There are a lot of people are in this spot. Okay, now let me show you what happens if we have some small moves. We'll keep the membership the same, and we'll keep the leads the same. Okay, let's just take the lead to consult and bring it from 10% to 20%. Okay, let's take our close rate and let's bring it from 50 to 60%. I think we can do both of those things by what I showed you today. Okay, let's take your average monthly membership price and we'll raise it by $30 a month. Okay, we'll go from 300 to 330. Okay, which is like 10%. So we got 10%. Whoop, that's too much. Oh, that's good. 334. And then let's take our attrition rate and let's just bring it down to 0.5%, from 4% to 3.5%. 3.5%. Okay, so really small changes, right? 10% increase here, 10% increase here, 10% increase on price. Okay, a 0.5% decrease in churn rate. Okay, remember we were net zero before. Okay, we didn't change the leads. We still stuck with 50 leads a month. We didn't change the leads. We went up 10% in lead to consult, 10% in close rate, 10% in price, 0.5% in churn. You ready for this? We're +4 monthly. We're +1,776. We're +42 by the end of the year. We're +97,000 in extra revenue correlated. We go from 50 members to 92 members. And we go from 16K a month to 30K a month. From 10%, 10%, 10%. Those are very, very small changes. That's literally one more close in a membership. That's literally one letter that you send to your members about a price raise that's 10%. That's literally a couple more people coming in for a consult that didn't come in before. So like little hinges swing big doors. If we can stay consistent, we can do this stuff every month and just get a little bit better. A 10% increase across the board. This is a different company. Before we were at 15K and we were going to 16K. Now we're at 15K, we're going to 30K. It's double the business. From all of these little things. Okay. So let me go back to I don't know why I keep, sorry. So let me go back to this. I told you guys last time about this new book I'm working on. It's called The 4 Stages of Fitness Business Success. Every one of you is in one of these stages. Some of you are 0 to 20K, some of you are 20 to 50K, some of you are 50 to 100K, wherever you're at, right? At the end of the day, each one of you that are in one of these stages needs a different set of skills to be able to get to the next level. Okay, there's certain things you need to be doing and certain things you need to be focusing on to get to the next level. A lot of times what we're doing is we got stage 1 people working on stage 3 problems. Or we got stage 2 people still stuck in stage 1. And your job is to get the right advice and the right help to help you where you're at in your specific stage. Okay? And so we have this thing that we do. It's a free call. If you want help with your business, if you want to help us improve that 10% across the board, okay? If you want to help us help you, if you want us to help you improve 10% from your lead to consult, 10% from your consult to member, and then 10% in your price. We can probably help you and do that. I mean, I think I helped you do it today, but we'd like to help you like a little bit more deep dive. This is a free call. I told you guys I wasn't pitching anything. This is totally free. This is on the house. All you got to do is click this link. Leo, you can put the link in the chat there, and you book a call with us, and we'll help you do these things. We'll identify what stage you're at now. We'll identify where do you want to go, similar to what I talked about before. And then what are the 3-5 things that you need to focus on? What's most important right now? That's what we're going to do on the call. Okay. It's totally free. It's totally on us. And if you do decide to book on the call, there's a bonus. And the bonus is probably one of the most valuable things that we've ever created. The bonus is a playbook that we only give to our mastermind clients. And the playbook is how to raise your prices. Because I really do believe that there is nothing faster that you can do to increase the amount of money than to change your price strategy. Okay, now it's not just raising prices on new members, but it's also could be raising prices on your current members. It could be just changing the way you're presenting price. But this document pretty much gives you everything that you need to amp up and level up the prices at your business. And so you'll get that if you book the call. You can book with Leo. You book a call with him today. You'll get access to that Raise the Price guide. I also have participation trophies. All right. If you just showed up and you just want to get the value from the call and all the stuff that we talked about, we have a 4 Bullet Friday playbook. I told you about that email that we send to our members to get more referrals. We send it to our members every Friday. We created a playbook that helps you write these types of emails for that. So everyone's going to get that. Leo will send that to you for showing up today on the call. But that is all I got for you today. I'm going to stop my share now. And what I'd like you to do now is just type into the chat. What was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway from all the? I know I covered a lot of ground there, guys. A lot of ground. There's a lot of things that were covered, a lot of stuff that we went over. But just type into the chat. What was your biggest takeaway? And then we'll take some questions. Rosemary, you're the best. I need to ask people who compliment us for referrals. Johnny said price increase. Big fan of the ask the question. Small improvements. Daisy said thanks so much. Everything was helpful. Consult room. Don't worry too much about less than 30%. Biggest takeaway is that I'm doing the right things. Good job, Claudia. Very good.
My silver group
Um,
gets anywhere from like 15 to 18 people. So that's the interesting.
Realizing I can improve my consult sequence, the effect of raising prices. We are at the top end of our market. Um, okay, awesome. Very good. Price increase. Need to focus on referrals. First impression thing. The one question that should be asked. How to be confident in raising prices, value. Everything but the consultation process was quite what questions to ask. Time spent on sales and marketing. Um, very cool. Very cool. Awesome, guys. Where is Tom? Leo, you there?
I'm here.
Very cool. Now I want to introduce Tom because Tom is not only a, you know, he is a sales expert. He actually has created a whole course on selling and sales. And so while we have him here, um, I want to take advantage of Tom's expertise in sales. Okay, so I'm going to give him the opportunity, give you guys the opportunity to ask Tom a question. So Leo, you ready to go?
I'm ready. Throw 'em at me.
Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to, hey, just unmute yourself. And if you have a question about sales, I want you to ask Leo, who's the guru in selling, and then I'll take questions after Leo. I want to get Leo a couple questions before we wrap. Okay. All right. So who would like to go first?
Derek raised his hand.
Oh, hey, hi, guys. Nice, very nice, Vince. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Um,
What's your question for Leo?
we have a lot of long-term agreements in place, so people signing up for a year. How do you, I mean, it's very difficult to raise prices on current members in those situations. New people, yes, but for current members who are already in a membership agreement, that would be difficult.
For anybody that signs up within that year, right? Like, so say they signed up in January and you want to raise your prices on June 1st, you're not going to raise theirs. You're going to wait till June 1st of next year or January of next year to actually raise their price to what it should be because then it'll be the full year. Um, but anybody that's been there, it's like they signed on for another year, you can just use it at the end of the 12-month commitment. It's really going to be for the people that are month to month. If they sign a 12-month commitment, that's their rate. I don't like to go back on what I say. I like to say, hey, you signed up, that's good. Honestly, it's a really great play for anybody that's coming due, even on a month-to-month agreement, to say, hey, listen, I want to let you know we're raising our prices on June 1st. But if you sign up for the year, I'll keep you at the same rate that you are now. Or you only go up $5 instead of $10. Right? That's usually the best way that I like to do it. No one usually ever objects, especially when you're that low. No one's really going to care. It's less than a Starbucks coffee now. So
Got it. Thank you.
no problem. Who else do we got? I see all my familiar faces in here. Who else wants to ask a question? It's funny, Vince didn't really preference the fact that I've been doing this for 20 years, and I actually ran Vince's gym all through COVID and was doing sales in a handicapped parking spot outside of a 30 by 30-foot tent in 100-degree heat. But anything you guys want to know about sales, the call that you are going to book is going to be with me. So we can take a deep dive into your process from the automations, even from whatever softwares you are using. We can take a look at that all the way through the consult. So it's not just going to be like, how do I get people on the phone? It's going to be more so like, all right, what has to happen? Mr. Beetle.
Hey Leo, in regards to making like a great first impression, Vince was talking about like telling staff to introduce themselves, like me just being, and for anybody else that's on the call that's like just like a one-man band right now, is it a good idea to be like, you have like a group going, having the members, or like just pick out one or two members to introduce themselves to people, or is that like a little too much?
It depends. I mean, I like to when I was doing all the consults at GFP, if I had someone coming in during a session and I'd know a background of the person. So say someone like Bob has a bad back, right? And has been coming to us for the last 5 years, whatever it is. And then that person now on the phone says, yeah, I'm always been a freak. My back always likes to go out. I'm always nervous. I can always walk in and be like, hey, see that guy over there? That's Bob. Bob has been with us for 5 years, has the same issues. And if Bob's in the middle of a set, I don't mind saying, hey, Bob, can you do me a favor? How was your experience so far with your back versus what it was like before you even started coming here? Like, that's cool to do. I don't usually just prep someone before the consult comes in and be like, hey, if you're working out, say hi to this person. I don't do that. It's more so going to be a relationship of what pain they have and then how someone actually got past that pain. So I want to kind of create that connection with them.
Yeah, it's funny. I even to, use that strategy when we have a potential hire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll like if I'm walking through the gym and we have like a trainer we're hiring, we'll introduce the trainer to a client. And then I'll ask the client, hey, what did you think of that person? If it's someone that you trust. So yeah, John, I think it's a good question, and I would definitely, involve some of your members. So good answer,
100%.
Leo. Cool. All right, what other questions do you guys got?
I see
If
I got a
questions in the
short
side.
question.
So,
I,
oh,
I
yeah,
got
I
a
want
quick.
to, I want
I
to,
don't.
I want to do the questions live first before we do the ones in the chat. I like
who's
I
it?
like
Yeah.
to reward people that have the courage to ask. On that. So if you want to ask a question, you just got to put that yellow hand up. I don't know how to.
I
How
don't.
do
I
they
don't know how
do
to
it?
do the yellow hand thing.
All right, so Jesse, we'll let you go
Yeah,
since.
so let's go. Jesse, what do you got for me?
Okay, cool. Also, my video's broken, so hey guys. I was asking. I was wondering about kind of piggybacking his question. Is there a clean way to kind of navigate the walking with a new person through the gym floor to the office in the back, right? Do you try to do you rush them through the end to try to get them to the console? Do you kind of create small talk with them? Is there like a clean way it's not feel like you're playing Frogger through the gym floor?
You mean walking from like they walk in the door, there's a session going on, and you're kind of hopping over dumbbells to get to the consult room?
Yeah, and then vice versa, and then you're dragging them kind of, I feel like they're kind of dragging behind me, and it's kind of a weird handoff, right? From front door to the back of the console.
Yes, it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's more so just explaining what's happening in the session and kind of making them feel like they're already part of it. So just having small talk along the way and be like saying, "This is Debbie, Bob, whatever it is." Like I was saying before, you should know from the phone call a little bit about the person. So they're not just coming in cold. If you don't know and they are cold just walking into your consult, and you're doing that sale that way, it's a little different. But all the small talk going into it usually is what I do, and just introducing them to people along the way, just saying, "Hey, Bob, hey, Debbie," when I'm saying everybody's name as you're walking past them, so they know that it's not just like a regular gym, that everybody there has a purpose, and you are making sure that they're having the best experience possible.
I would say too, Jesse, that I would tell if it is like a little bit of a mazy situation.
Mhm.
Like we kind of have that too. Like we have to walk through the gym to walk them in the back. What it kind of like what I was saying earlier about like decreasing uncertainty
Mhm.
is like just tell them ahead of time like where you're gonna go. Right. And so like before you start walking through the gym, it's like, all right, see that door over there? We're walking straight through that door over there. I'm going to let you lead and you kind of stay close behind them. But I think the big thing, Jesse, would be actually telling them that it's funny. I did this on purpose. We never ended up using it, but actually, if you look at our gym and you come to our gym, there's actually a strip of yellow flooring. You know how like the black flooring has the specks on it? So most of our gym has like gray specks, but there's a strip of flooring that has yellow specks, almost like caution tape yellow, right? And my plan was that we were going to walk along the yellow road, like the yellow brick road, um, and just that we never ended up really using it, just because you couldn't see it too well. But it's funny that you asked that question because that's exactly why we created that to help people show where to walk in that. So good question, Jesse. All right, who's next? Look like Allie, Allie, right? Yeah. Good, Allie.
Okay, so thank you for doing this. This
You're
is
welcome.
incredibly helpful. So,
Cool.
a little backstory so that you guys understand. And unfortunately, it hasn't been the first time. I hope it's the very last one. Just recently, and I actually signed up for the SPF Mastermind, and I had to step out because it was just going down. So, I was able to, work with a leasing company. Anyway, so I had 4 trainers leave because of the existential financial crises that I was going through. And I said, I'm going to have to reduce pay temporarily. And I'm going to, we're going to recover from this, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, peace, I'm out. So with them, I had a churn of like 30 people. So I'm like, oh, this is really hard. So, once everything got stable, of course, some of those classes were full. They're no longer full. Took them off the schedule, but I am wearing myself out because I'm literally all hours of the day in there. So how do I recover from such a big churn? I'm trying to come up with a plan that makes sense, that looks appealing without looking desperate, even though I am a little bit.
All right, let me take a stab at this.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit of a complex issue, but we'll do the best we can. Okay, so here's the first thing. I will never ever lower someone's pay because when you lower someone's pay, you completely demoralize them. I'll fire somebody before I lower their pay
Okay.
because what happens is, so that's the first lesson, right?
Okay.
You're better off keeping one person, right, or 2 people and keeping their pay the same and firing the other 2 people than you were lowering all 4 people's pay. Okay, because now
Okay.
you just got 4 disgruntled people that said peace out because yeah, they're mad because you lowered their pay. Like even during COVID, like when COVID happened, I didn't lower anyone's pay. I just I think I ended up firing just one person. Um, but that's the first thing. The second thing is um, understand that any time that you have staff attrition, client attrition will follow. That's
Okay.
guaranteed. That is the number one cause of churn is staff attrition because that this happened to us I think in 2021 where we had this post COVID 21 2022 where we had an exodus of like 3 or 4 trainers over the course of 3 months for like random reasons. And we saw more attrition in that time than we did ever, right? So the real message for you guys is like, hey, there's some people that are going to leave. You're not going to keep people forever. But if you really want to protect your attrition, the best thing you can do is have good longevity with your staff. Now, the first thing you need to do, Allie, is it Allie?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The first thing you need to do is you need to stop any bleeding. Okay. So if you've had churn in the past, your job is to stabilize what you have, right? And that's kind of like what I taught during COVID is like the number one job is that we preserve what we have. So before you go off on the sales tangent and trying to get a bunch of new customers, I would be really leaning into the people that you've got and really focusing on delivering the best possible experience that you can to get things on track. So if we haven't done that
And that's
yet,
what, yeah, and that's what I've been doing. Once I,
okay, good.
I kind of saw all the people, it's almost like in my mind, I was thinking, oh, the people that are going to leave, I'm just kind of waiting for all that to just leave so that I
Okay,
can
good.
kind of, like my boat was sinking. I'm waiting for all that to just stop sinking, and now I'm just kind of floating, hoping to not keep
Right.
sinking. So everything's stabilized
Good.
already. So I'm not losing any more members. I've been doing a lot of referrals. I've been here in San Antonio right now in the week of Fiesta. So we're doing
Oh,
like
cool.
50% times two. So when you sign up, you as a member, you get 50% off, and then your friend gets 50% off the first month. So it's kind of like, a little bit of a bonus for the new member and for the referral. And, that's gotten a little bit of attention. But it's like, I'm doing little things. So to answer your question, yes, I'm not bleeding anymore, but
Good,
now
good.
I'm like, I'm in a growth, like I need a growth spur.
Got to grow spurt. Now, when you say you're doing all the work, are you able to take on more sessions, or do you feel like you need to grow through hiring someone?
Um, well, see, that's the thing. It's kind of like, I think I can take on more sessions just because once I coach the morning classes, and then the
Okay.
evening classes are covered. All that's good. But if I come in and coach another class, I also don't want people to be like, Ale is everywhere. I mean, we look at the schedule and it's like Ale. She's everywhere. So I do think about the possibility of hiring somebody else, just because that is also going to bring people in. It's a new face, a new style, a new everything. But I'm kind of trying to like budget in. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. And so is the situation that you have right now, like, are all of the, like, do you know what your usage is, like, out of how many sessions that you have? Like, how many of them are full? Like, if you have an average of 6 people that you can put in a session, like, on average, how many of those, like, my question is, do you have capacity to add in your existing structure? Meaning, can you add clients without adding more hours?
Yeah. Like my classes have pretty good attendance, but I'm not to the point where I'm like, it's 3 people, I'm gonna cancel. And so I do
Right.
have capacity. So on average, my classes are ranging between 15 to 18 on a really good day. On a not so good day, call it 8 to 10, 8 to 12. So it's still a good attendance, and the classes, when all that syncing was going on, some classes went down to 2 members, and I'm like, sorry guys, I gotta chop it.
Okay, good. All
But
right. So
but
you have, there is
there is
room.
room for people to come in without necessarily having to add more.
So the big concern I have was because you said on the first thing is that you're feeling burnt out, right? Um, and what we don't want to do is add more customers and add more work to your plate, right? Because that just furthers the case. But now that you're telling me that, hey, I have an existing structure that is not going to take me any more hours to fulfill, and I can just get more people in. So really, it comes back to really marketing and sales. It comes
Mhm.
back to you generating leads and you spending more time on selling. Now, the question is this: how much time are you spending on doing those things in a given week?
I have another coach that's been helping me. She's been great. We're probably doing maybe 4 to 5 hours each.
A
Maybe like
week?
spending. Mhm. So maybe like,
Okay.
each of us are spending 1 hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day. But between the both of us, we're putting about 10 hours. We're reaching out to leads, and she touches the subject of personal training. I touch the subject of memberships. So we're trying to like kind of cover both ends. And so my biggest question here is, a lot of, if not the vast majority of my community, are not personal trainer kind of like mindset. So everything is group based. So when I try to pitch in, hey, personal training, they're like, nah, I'm not interested. I'll just do this.
Okay. Did you go to the sales masterclass? Or sorry, the
Mm,
marketing masterclass last week?
no, I missed it.
Okay. Do you have a specific avatar that you're looking for, that you're trying to get to your gym? Like, do you have a perfect customer that you're trying to get to your business?
Well, I mean, just the average on our the average age of our customer, they're mostly women, and they're between 25 to 55.
Okay.
So it's
So
kind of like,
that's what I think you need clarity on. I think you need clarity on who your customer is. And I think what I would do is I would go watch the marketing masterclass that I did 2 weeks ago. You can find the replay. And it gives you a deep dive on who your customer is. Because if you're all of a sudden getting responses from all these people that want large group, it's possible that your marketing is targeting the wrong people. And what you need to do is you need to regroup on your marketing strategy to be able to start attracting the right people. And the first thing you need to know is really have clarity on who that person is, what their pains are, what their fears are, what their frustrations are. And I think we need to do a little bit more work on the front end of that. I like the fact that you're working hard and you're getting an hour to two a day. That's good. But now we probably just need to direct that strategically towards a specific person, and find the pockets of and places of where those people are. In that masterclass, I go over a target. Leo, can you just send it to her directly so she doesn't go on a wild goose? Send her the target market analysis that we did. And basically what it is, it's a prompt on ChatGPT that you can put into ChatGPT, and it'll give you a deep dive report on who your customer is. And now what you can do is you can start focusing the messaging around to that person specifically. I think it's a strategic marketing thing. You're doing the work, you're doing a good job with hustling and getting after it and asking for referrals and doing that. I think we just need a little bit of a tweak of the strategy of who you're targeting. And I think that changes everything for you.
Ollie, I
Okay.
put it in the chat for you too, so it's quick and easy. You just click it. It'll open up.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I
Anyone
really
that wants
appreciate your
to-
time.
Yeah,
I
you
know
got it.
I probably went rogue on the question, but
No, you're good. You're good. It's all good. It's all
All good.
good.
That's why
No,
we're
and
here.
hey, I've made 1,000 mistakes in my career. So don't sweat it. You get things back on track. You're good. We got you. Good job.
thank you.
All right,
Thank
cool. You got it. What's up, Morris? You're muted though.
Hey, how's it going there? Thank you for doing this. I
Oh,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. Thank you.
I had a couple questions for you. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. You were talking about the weekly emails. I wanted the as far as the educate, entertain, inspire,
Mm-hmm.
as they say. Where are you getting the information for the educate and for the entertain? Where you educate just the benefits of how it's going to help your body and everything? Is that what you're talking about? Can you deep dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And actually, it's funny. I have this. I promise not to sell anything. That's why I didn't talk about it. But this is a book I wrote that has all the emails I've written over the past 20 years.
Wow.
So that's a good resource for what to write. But honestly, I'll tell you what is the biggest source of inspiration is what is going on in your gym and the conversations that you have with your customers. Because anytime that you have a conversation with a customer, they are telling you what the market wants to hear. They are telling you what the market struggles with. They are telling you what they want to win with. And so the first thing you need to do, Morris, is have more conversations with your customers, and ask them questions like, what are you struggling with? What are your challenges? What do you love about us? What do you hate about us? And I think that's one of the biggest sources. The thing that you got to have for content. So, Morris, I've written an email a day for like over a decade, right? So like I don't like that comes from an insatiable curiosity and always finding ideas and little things and that can be turned into an entire piece of content. So I'll give you an example. One of my customers came up to me and he said, "Today's my 60th birthday, and I want to tell you something, Vince. I feel better today than I did at 50." And I was like, boom. There it is right there. And that became a whole campaign. I feel better at 60 than I did at 50. Right? And so there's the headline. There's the email subject line. And then what you do is your email can be tell the story. Hey, I was walking in my gym the other day and my client Dave came up to me and it was his 60th birthday. And Dave's been a client of ours for blah, 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 blah. He trains us 3 times a week. He does blah, 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 blah. And guess what he told me? He told me he feels better at 60 as he did at 50. There's your email. Right? And so a lot of the stuff that's happening that you can create and the content you can create is like literally right in front of you happening all the time. So that is one piece. The other piece is too, if you Morris, and I know I'm referring back to the marketing masterclass, but the last marketing masterclass that I did a couple weeks ago, I gave a tool that was called the testimonial email builder, which was a prompt where you could build a testimonial by answering 5 questions about some of your customers.
Okay.
Right. And basically what it does is you answer 5 questions about one of your customers and it spits out an email for you. It's pretty cool. So go watch the marketing email replay. The marketing masterclass replay. And it'll tell you how to get the testimonial email builder. But like it's something simple. Look through your Google reviews. Like, do you have Google reviews, Morris?
Yes.
Yeah. So like all the Google reviews, you can like take that and you can turn those into emails.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Here's one more for you. Ready, Morris? Do your customers ever ask you questions?
Yes.
Every question they ask you is an email.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Morris, what supplements should I be taking?
Mm,
Morris, should I eat oatmeal for breakfast? Morris, how many hours of sleep should I be getting?
yeah.
Morris, right? Morris, is massage good for me? Morris, should I be taking GLP-1?
Yeah.
Right? Every question that's asked to you is an email.
Gotcha. Nice. Just two more. The entertainment, and then can I get a link for the marketing master replay? Mastermind replay? Can I get a link for that?
Yes, sir. Leo will put that in the chat for you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it, brother.
It's in the chat.
Thank you.
Cool. All right, guys, what else? Someone raise your yellow hand or just show me your... There's still a lot of people on this call. I assume you just didn't want to sit here and stare at me. So what are the other questions you got? This is Q&A. Remember, I gave you time to write down your question. Let's go. Well, I'll tell you what, Leo, the marketing masterclass had better questions than this group. I don't know what's going on. Donna, you got one?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to do the raise your
No,
hand.
that's okay. You're good. You're good. What's your
Um,
question, Donna?
I have a situation where I'm a boot camp studio, small group, or medium to just a group fitness, kind of in a group fitness boot camp. But my consultations come in, and I don't have anywhere for them to really do it. So I set up a couple of chairs. We have a computer. It's very awkward, and I don't have any room to like make somewhere specific for those consultations. And I definitely feel like that hurts me. So I don't really,
What is your close rate? Like how many consultations are you doing and how many are you closing?
I mean, I have a fairly good close rate, but I don't, off the top of my head, I probably at least 50%. Um, but I feel like I could close more. I would do
Okay.
more, I feel like that if I had a better layout, so I'm trying to figure out how I just don't have the space. We'd have to like build something. And the space that we have is limited. Like we don't want to take up space that we could use for our classes for that. So I just pull out some chairs. It's kind of funny. Anyway,
When you say you pull, like, what's going on? When you say you pull out chairs, is there like other people around? Is it noisy and loud? Like, what is
well,
the situation?
consultations are always just me. There's nobody in the studio, and it's just me and the person coming in. So it's very, it's kind of casual. I go, come have a seat and come into my office, kidding around. And but yeah, they're kind of just sitting near the front desk area. Like it's just awkward. But I don't really know. I guess that's been working, but I was wondering if there's any.
Yeah, I don't think you have much of an issue here. I think that one, you're telling me what I would like you to do, Donna, is tell me what exactly your close rate is. Right? That's the first thing that I would really get clarity on is like, do we have a problem here or are we like looking for something? Right? It sounds like, the first thing you said to me was I close a good amount of the people. So it sounds like
I
that
do.
you're doing a pretty good job and like would all of a sudden the game change if you went into a private room?
Well, I just saw
Probably.
your room and I was like, wow, I need something like
Yeah,
that.
but but
My
but
room
but I mean,
empty.
one you're doing well. Two, you don't have a room, so you can't you don't
Right.
you can't like we're not. I don't know if I would suggest building a room,
Yeah, I
right,
don't, I
for that
can't.
specific person. The real thing, the reason why I like the room is privacy, right? Because when we ask questions, sometimes people are talking about challenging stuff, right? And so if you're doing it in a situation where no one's around, I don't see really that as I would probably look for something else. I think there's something probably else that we could work on. I think you're
I
good.
think that's
Yeah.
just something that bothers me, but there's really not maybe fancier chairs. I don't know. Other than that, because we start at one spot and then because I don't want to be having them sitting in the corner by my computer, which is kind of low. So I'll be like, come on, let's take your chairs into my other office. Try to make light of it and casual because that's kind of how we are. We're not like it's
Yeah,
not
I wouldn't sweat it. I wouldn't sweat it. I think you just,
a,
yeah, I think you're good. But
okay.
that's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me what your close rate is. Like, and not looking at 1 month, but looking at 90 days. Like, what was the actual night? If I take January all the way till now, how
Well, I
many
have to,
consultations did you have and how many closed into memberships? That gives you a true sense of how you're actually closing, right? And if
yeah,
you're between
I have
50,
that.
60, 70%, like, don't sweat it. You're good. Keep going what you're doing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You got
Let
it.
it go. Let it go.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, all right. Any other, John, did you have your hand again?
Yeah, I got another question. If you
What's up? Yeah, you got it.
um, how do you categorize? So if you get a lead to come in for either a trial or somebody that signs up and they get cold feet and they want to cut it like right in the beginning, um, how do you handle that? Do you like put them into more of a reactivation, or is that back into like a lead category?
So when you say they get cold feet, so they bought the membership or they didn't buy it?
So in my most recent event, like this person was starting the 2 week trial. So they were going into a trial and they're like, hey, like this is not working. Like I gotta like stop right now. And it was very sudden.
Yeah, okay.
And I was like cool with it. I was like, hey, no worries. I wasn't trying to be like the nice guy about it, but I was also kind of like making sure um to like have access to reach out to them in the future.
Yeah,
So
what I would do is I would just open it with kind of like what we do if someone puts their membership on hold. Like if anyone puts their membership on hold, what we do is we get a defined date for them to come back.
okay.
Right. So they want to put their membership on hold, we're like, okay, you want to go on hold? Perfect. You want to come back in a month, 2 months, like when are you coming back? And we get a defined date on the calendar. In that situation, what I would do is just say, hey, all right, cool. No, I totally get it. And I would ask them, I was like, would you be open to coming back and trying the gym at a different time? And I would ask them that question, right? And a lot of times they'll say, nope, I just hate you, John. The place smells like bologna and I never want to go in there again. Or, yeah, I just have stuff going on right now and it's just not the right time. And you're like, all right, cool. Like, do you want me to reach out to you in about a month? Or do you want me to reach out to you in about 6 weeks? And they were like, yeah, let's do 6 weeks. I was like, all right, perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my calendar, I'm going to reach back out to you in 6 weeks and we'll try this again. Does that sound good? And just do it like that, John. Just leave it kind of open-ended, but get them to commit to. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the sales that I've kind of mentioned today is using the term commitment and consistency. Is getting these micro commitments from people. Getting these micro commitments from people that are, kind of being wishy-washy, and then they'll be wishy-washy until they actually make a commitment. Right? So that's what I would do, John, in that situation.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. All right, guys. Any other? Oh, what's up, my man, Kev? How you doing,
What's up,
brother?
man?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So, 1 week trial, 2 week trial, 1 month trial. What's been working lately?
We're doing a 14-day right now. That's working pretty good. I think you just got to test it though. Um, but yeah, right now for us, believe it or not, we're doing a 14-day trial from a newspaper ad that's killing it.
That's awesome.
Newspapers. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, so we've converted here's the stats on the newspaper. We've run it 2 times. So we've run the newspaper 2 times. The total spend on the newspaper was it was $1,800 the first time and like let's call it three, I think it was 3,000 the second time. So let's call it, 5 grand all in. So as we spent 5 grand over 2 months, so 2,500 a month. We got 20 people to fill out we sent them to a sales page. right? A landing page. We got 20 people to fill out the landing page. Okay, so we got 20 leads. 10 booked consultations. Okay.
Wow.
10 booked consultations. 10 showed up. Guess how many bought? 6 out of 10. So let's do the math. We spent $5,000. I got 6 customers. The lifetime value of a customer at GFP, there's 2 formulas you can use. One formula, it's about 7,500. The other formula, it's about 12 grand. All right. So those are sometimes ranges and depends on which formula. So we'll use 10 in the middle. So lifetime value of a customer at GFP is 10 grand. Okay. 6 times 10 grand is 60,000. I spent 5 grand to make 60,000.
Nice.
But newspapers are dead. So that's what I'm saying. It's like one of the things I said, the point was, this is an important point. A lot of times show rates can be fixed by the different media that you use, right? If you're banging our head against the wall with Meta, right? I'm going to tell you, if you only market on Meta, you only do Facebook ads, your show rate's going to be dog shit. I don't care how good of a salesperson you are. It's going to be dog shit.
Okay.
And so that's what and I talked about this at the last mastermind, right? Find pockets of people that you don't even know exist. Like the quick story is this. I went fishing with Joey, my son. Okay. We went to this one pond. Okay. And we didn't catch any fish. And he's all sad. He's all pissed. We're driving home. There's a construction in the road and there's a detour. And all of a sudden, the detour takes us on a road that was like, I didn't even know this road existed. And there was a pond on the road. And I was like, oh, shit. It's a true story. I was like, there's a pond, Joey. He's like, let's go try and catch some fish. We pulled 100 fish out of that lake. Same town, didn't even know it existed. Okay. Totally same bait, same pole, same everything, right? Same skilled fisherman, different pond. And I believe that there's those ponds exist in your area. Here's where they could exist. I just gave you one of them. The readers of that newspaper are a different pond. I'm promising you there are people that are reading that newspaper that aren't even on Facebook. Okay? A pond is you walking down the street and finding a company that has 10 to 25 employees that make, maybe they're lawyers, maybe they're accountants. It's like we can walk into that business and we could get 3 clients from those people. And when you start to look at lifetime value and you start to understand and really talk about and think about how important lifetime customer value is, I just told you, every client we sign up at GFP is a $10,000 bill. That's worth searching for. That's worth finding different pockets. That's worth walking the street. That's worth getting the 5K booth, right? That's worth taking the ad out in the newspaper. It's like, this is worth it when you start marketing with the lifetime customer value in mind, right? And so I think a lot of us have gotten lazy. We've gotten lazy. We want to put a bunch of money on Facebook and we think that that's going to just solve all our problems, and it doesn't. So we got to kind of do some work. You got to find the ponds. You got to go to and I guarantee you, if you start, we improved our show rate by like 20% just by marketing in the newspaper. Because the show rate on newspaper is 100% and our show rate on Meta is dog shit at 10%, and we mold it together and it's like, all right, we increased our show rate by 10%. Same skill sets on the salesperson, no changes. None of the stuff I taught today we're doing. We're doing all of that already, right? But in reality, there was no changes we made to the process. We only changed the source. And so we got to kind of just open our eyes a little bit more. They are there, guys. They are there. And here's the thing. We have this tool called artificial intelligence that can help us find these pockets way easier than we ever have before. So that's what I'm saying. Sorry, what was your question? You just
yeah.
You didn't even remember.
Oh no,
I had you in a trance there, Kevin. I had you in a trance.
I was like about the offers. So what was working best was
Yeah, sorry.
one
Yeah,
week.
long way away from that. Yeah, but but the big point is you got to test. You got to test different offers. We're working well with a free 14-day trial membership. Again, 6 out of 10, from the newspaper signed up for the 14-day. Now, was it the 14-day trial? No, there's no magic around the 14-day trial. There's no
Right.
magic around a 1 week. You just have to test and find what works for you, right? And test. It's just a test. It's just a test of different options. Right?
All right.
I
Well,
would say this too. We got some good stuff coming up in terms of holidays that we can use to leverage certain offers, right? And so maybe it's not a trial, maybe it's a Mother's Day sale.
would you, in the Mother's Day sale, would you actually give a whole month away or
Yeah.
no?
So I love the Moms Train Free offer.
Okay.
Yeah. So you do an offer called Moms Train Free, and you offer free training for moms for the month of May, right? As some kind of an offer, right? We do Dad's Trains free in June, right? So just like it's funny. There's a guy that had a company. He did he helped bowling alleys. He did kind of what I do for bowling alleys, and he created this program called Kids Bowl Free. And all bowling alleys are dead in the summertime. And so what he did to combat that is he created a whole campaign called Kids Bowl Free. And all the bowling alleys started offering free bowling for kids in the summertime, and it exploded. Right? It's just like, have you heard my lonely kettlebell theory?
I have, but you could go over it
Yeah,
again.
so the lonely kettlebell theory, it is more expensive for you to have an empty spot in one of your sessions than it is for you to give away for free. So get people in the door. And so sometimes you just got to make more offers. And so you could just need to test different things like that to theme it out more, maybe. Allie, do you have another question?
Yes. So that kind of, I was gonna ask it, but it was like too much going on. So one of the things that came to my head via one of marketing books that I got, TikTok made me do it, but it does have some pretty cool stuff in there. So I came up with, and I have the math right here, so I can show you, and you tell me if it makes sense, right? So part of me trying to reactivate a reactivation campaign, bring in new members and referrals and whatnot, I said, okay, so we're gonna give away $5,000, and my trainers were like, aren't we short on cash? I'm like, okay, here this is my psychology behind it. Okay, we get people to come in for $150 a month, and we lock them in for 6 months. We're making $900 out of every person in that 6-month period, right? So if we get 50 people in the door, so 900 times 50 in a 6-month period, we'd be making $45,000.
Okay.
If I'm not making my math right. If I'm making my math right. So out of those $45,000, we're giving away only $5,000, right? So what I did, they're like, okay, so what about the members that are already in? Because I had some people that were grandfathered into this and to that and blah, blah, blah. And that's another thing that I needed to restructure so that I get everybody kind of on the same level. So I told them, okay, you want to be part of this, $5,000 giveaway? You just got to bump up your membership so that it's even across the board and everybody's paying the same. And they're like, well, how does it work? Every time you don't have to do anything else than what you're already doing right now. You're already working? Yes. You're already going to the gym? Yes. You're already paying your membership? Yes. Okay. Every time you pay your membership, you get an entry ticket. So by the end of this period, when your agreement of 6 months ends, you will have 6 chances to win $5,000. And they're like, okay, sign me up.
What's the question?
Is it a good deal? Is it too cheap? Is it like, because I don't want it to make it like you said earlier.
Well, hold on. Have you already done it?
No, it's set like, so the giveaway, it's set for September. So that's why I tell people you need to sign up by April.
So here's the thing, and I think this comes exactly back to the issue that I talked to you about before.
Okay.
If we're going after buyers that are buying personal training, none of them necessarily need an extra $5,000. My customers are rich. They're they have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're taking hey, win $5,000. And what we're doing is we're targeting the same customers that are probably telling you that they want large group by this specific offer.
Well,
So
so here comes the part two
hold
of
on,
that
let me
question.
finish.
Go
Let me
ahead. Go
finish.
ahead.
So I think that a giveaway is a fine thing to do, right? But I would shift the giveaway towards free training at your business. Because now, when you give away training, you're getting people that are opting in for training versus opting in for money. Because here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of shitty people that just want to win money. Versus if you give away training, you get people that want training. Plus, it doesn't cost you any money to give away a spot in your business. And what you can say is you can value it at double the price. If you gave away a year of training, you could value it at $7,000 versus $5,000.
Yeah.
Which also fixes the target market issue. You're not giving away money, you're giving away training at your gym and your business. And now you can lead. And here's the other thing that I think this does. I think if you're giving away a free year of training or free 6 months of training, I think you possibly have joint ventures that would promote that for you. I don't think you would get people to promote if you were giving away $5,000.
Sure.
And so now you have this. So I think with the $5,000, you're targeting the wrong people. I think you're not going to get joint venture help. I think you're not going to get people that are in it for the right reasons. So my answer to all of that is I don't think that's a good idea. Sorry.
Okay. And so, no, I mean, this is the reason why I ask questions.
Yeah.
And so the part two of that is that in my facility, I do mostly group training. Like I said, I have, power cycle, trampoline. We have some classes that are very exclusive to Alpha, and people come to us because they don't find those formats anywhere else. So I'm trying to, think of like, I'm trying to cater to the heavy lifters and I'm trying to cater to the cardio queens. It works great because I have two completely different demographics under one roof. But when I've tried to push the personal training, it's almost like, nah, I'm good. So my mentality behind this is get them in. They're like, okay, so what does my membership include? Okay, you get unlimited classes and you get 2 times a week personal training. That's my hook to get them to buy more personal training. So that's how I'm trying to make it attractive so that I kind of start throwing in there the personal training to where eventually they're like, you know what? I really like how this is going, but I want to train more than 2 times a week. Like, how do I buy more sessions? That's my train of thought. But I don't know if it's something that could crash and burn.
Yeah, I think it crashes and burns. I think I would just do what I told you and do a giveaway of X months of training and revisit the target market because I think with the money, you're targeting the wrong people. And I think with the training, you're going to find the right people. And I think that the thing is, it's not that you can't have different people like lifters and stuff like that under one roof, but what you really want to do is focus your marketing around one group of people. Doesn't mean you can't take on different customers. It really just means your marketing. I can't go to your website and want to buy pizza and Chinese food.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be like that. I can't be that confused. And there's never been a restaurant that survived that served pizza and Chinese food. They all go out of business, right? So that's what I think you really need. You need clarity on market. You need to market towards a specific group of people. And again, if you have other people in there, that's fine, but I would start shifting your marketing towards the right person. And the right person, honestly, the right person is who you want, but also the right person is who's going to spend money with you. And you
Yeah.
want to target people that are going to be buyers and people that are going to spend money, on personal training. So that's what I say. I think the giveaway is a great idea. I think it's really smart. And I think I think you're a creative thinker, which is awesome. I would just shift around the prize of it to be what you actually do. And I've done many of these giveaways. I created the whole giveaway in the fitness industry. The first time I did it was in 2016. Okay, I did a giveaway. So I started this whole thing, right? I was the first person in the fitness industry to do a giveaway. I don't know anyone. I'm sure there may be someone that did it before me. I don't know. So I've done tons of these. Okay, and then free training is really what the driver is, right?
Okay.
Because here's the thing. What do you want to do when you do the giveaway? There's going to be a bunch of people that apply to win. Okay, and you're going to have a winner, but then you're also going to have a bunch of people that apply that didn't win. Your job is to follow up, right? So instead of saying, sorry, you didn't win the $5,000, do you want to train with me? And they're like, no, I just wanted $5,000. Then you say, I'm sorry, you didn't win the free year of training. Are you still interested in training? Yes, because they applied to win something in training, not $5,000.
Got it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, the one place that money can be used is a prize for your current membership. So let's say you're going to do something internal and you're going to do like a fat loss challenge. I have done that in the past, where the prize was money for our internal membership. But I'll be honest with you, the free training, they want that more than money. And that's why I keep coming back to the sophisticated buyer. The sophisticated buyer doesn't like, they're like, yeah, I want money. Like free trading, they're like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. So
Yeah.
that's what I would say.
Okay.
So go forward, yes, but just tweak the actual offer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Mark, did you have a question? It looked like you had a question. Morris, did you have another one? Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Wow. Okay. Hey, I appreciate your time.
You got it, brother.
Before I ask my question, I need to say two things. I love your synergy. I love the way your brain thinks. You remind me of a Plumber Cosgrove mix. I mean, you're doing
Thank
the
you.
same thing. I'm blown away. And as they
I
say,
appreciate that.
I'm taking advantage of this, but nobody else is. I'll go for it. This is
Attaboy.
what I do. I do youth summer camps. So
Cool.
can you give me some ideas, some marketing ideas for
Yep.
different cons to advertise in? When you were
Yep.
talking about Facebook, I'm like, whoa, he's talking about me. That's all I'm doing. And I need to open up and do some more stuff. So
Oh, I got something good for
some
you.
ideas and I'm writing. Go.
All right, here it is. So, youth is like, it's so easy. There are programs all around your community that are working with kids, right? Do you have the PAL by you? Like Police Athletic League, or
Okay,
there's
I can check into it.
right, PAL or rec, any of the rec. It's almost like, just think, Morris, just think town sports, right? Like yesterday, I was at my son's baseball thing, right? He's 10, right? Town sports. Okay. And so all of these different leagues are run by parents, right? They're not run by red tape like high schools and stuff like this. And so they're nonprofits, right?
Okay.
What does a nonprofit want? Money. What are they looking for? Sponsors. You see they ask, a business like yours in mind, hey, do you want to put your banner in the outfield? Hey, do you want to put your logo in the program? Okay. Have you gotten those opportunities before?
Yes.
Okay. So here's how you're going to do it differently. Okay. You're going to do it differently because none of that shit works. Okay. Putting your name and your logo on a banner, like, none of that is going to produce customers. Okay. But here's where I would change it. I would go to them and I would offer to make a donation to their program. Maybe it could be a donation that's, in line with what it costs to put your name on a banner or shirt. Sometimes it's $500, $200, whatever it is, right? I would look for their options, right? And so go find what those are. And you'd be like, hey, Find the person that's in charge that makes the decisions, right? And usually it's like the head of the program. And you basically say, hey, I would love to be a sponsor of yours, and I'd like to make a donation. But instead of making a donation and putting my name, in the banner on the outfield, what I'd like to do is just send a couple emails to your list to promote my summer program. Okay, so now what we're doing is we're getting direct response marketing. So we're sending an email to the list, okay, and then they're sending that email to their entire list. The other OPC, Morris, other people's customers, right? And so you want to find pockets, ponds, right, of these leagues and programs that have, to the touch of a button, access to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 parents, right? And then you're showing up as a good person because you're a sponsor in exchange for promotion for your program. Okay? Hey, Leo, I'm going to do Morris a solid here.
What's up?
Can you send him our sponsorship proposal form?
For the grit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
We'll send that to you, Morris. Basically, what it is, it's like a proposal that we send to a youth league that outlines what the sponsorship entails. And so it'll give you basically, a framework of how to do it.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Mark, did you have a question? Looks like you're trying to unmute. No. All right, guys. Anything else? Appreciate you guys. What time is it? Oh, we went long.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2:30.
You were cooking. I didn't want to bother you.
Oh man, I didn't realize we went that long. Sorry, everybody. I apologize for all the extra keeping you on all afternoon. Well,
Coach, what's your
appreciate it.
email address while I have you? Or a phone number? Either one. You got 'em?
Coach Morris at barringtonsummercamp.com. I'll put it in the message here. Is that, or you want me to just give it to you? Spell it out.
I got it already.
Coach Morris. Thank you.
I just
All right,
sent you a
guys.
text with the link for the document too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All
All
right.
right, guys, I think that's good. Hopefully that was helpful. I think we'll probably do another one of these in about a month or so. We'll see. But hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully there's one nugget in there, one little thing, but always remember that, hey, you could, got a lot of dopamine hit from hanging out with me for 2.5 hours in the afternoon, but if you don't go do anything, nothing's going to happen. So you got to go take action. You got to go do it. You got to get it done. Don't try to do everything, right? Remember what I told you? I showed you those little needle moves, right? The 10% to 20%, right? And now I did all three, right? And all three was a big splash, right? But hey, maybe you don't have the ability to do all three right now. Maybe you just one. Maybe one needle mover. Maybe it's price. Maybe it's show rate. Maybe it's whatever. But a lot of times, small, changes can really make a big impact. So find the thing that resonated with you the most today. Go take action. Go do it. Appreciate you guys taking out your afternoon, hanging with me and Leo. Leo, thanks, job. Thank you. And remember, too, if you want to get access to the price raise guide, book a call with Leo, and it'll be a valuable call. I mean, it's a pretty one-sided exchange for you guys. Like, we're giving you the price raise guide, and you're going to get value on the call. So hopefully you guys take advantage of that. And
Thank you. I
we'll see you on the next
appreciate
one.
all the answering the
You're welcome.
questions and your patience through all of it. It
Yeah,
really
you got
shines
it.
a lot of light. I've had moments where I'm like seriously in the point of like I'm about to have a heart attack, an aneurysm, and God knows what else. So it shines a lot of light and gives me a lot of hope. I'm a one-man band. Some people have partners, some people have, I don't know, a sugar daddy or a line of credit. I don't. It's just me. So this really helps a lot. So thank you.
I was hoping Vanessa was going to be a sugar mama for me, but she has her like one Pilates client and it doesn't do it. I will say something along the lines of that, Ali, because what we're doing is not easy. Like you're decide all of you are in business for yourself. Like majority of the people you know, they show up, they get a paycheck, they have a certainty, they have all this stuff and you guys took a different we took a different road. And that road is not the easiest paved, nice, clean road. And I will say this, and I said this yesterday on the mastermind call. Problems are part of the living experience. We don't get out of this life without it. We don't get out of business without it. We don't get life without it. At the end of the day, I think a lot changes when we come to the grips of problems are coming and problems being solved is our job. Just like our job is to show up and train people, our job is to solve problems. And we get paid more for the more problems that we solve and the better that we solve them and the faster that we solve them. But at the end of the day, it is our job. And every business owner's got it. I have caught problems. So don't think that me teaching at you today that I don't have challenges and issues in my companies. Right? I'm running 2 different 7-figure companies. Okay? There's problems in both. There's challenges in both. There's times where some are slow. There's times where we're bumping. Okay? But there's problems all the time. And don't let any business owner, don't let someone like me that has this platform think that everything is perfect and everything is rosy and everything is always going good. It's not, because that's how life as an entrepreneur is. But I will tell you this. The road that you all have chosen is a personal development journey like you will get nowhere else. You will learn more about yourself. You will learn more about what you're made of more than doing this than anything else. And so look at this is an opportunity to become a version of ourselves that we never would have become if we went and got a job somewhere else. And so it's an opportunity. It's a gift. And while it's challenging, I promise you, Ali, you're becoming a stronger, better person because of the journey you're on and the challenges that you're facing and the things that you're overcoming than if you were working a 9 to 5 somewhere else. So I'll leave you guys with that. But keep rocking and rolling, everybody. You're doing great. Keep rolling, keep moving, and I'll see you on the next one. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.